Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils, this is Rachel.
Hi.
This is Manchester United versus Galatasaray. This is our live watch along. We're just watching MUTV at the moment, waiting for the match to start. We've got around about 23, 24 minutes before kick-off. We'll get straight into it with the team and we'll talk about, do we think this is a team that's about to start the season for us or anything like that. So I'm going to ask you about the team, but I'm also going to ask you about the players that aren't in this team. And I'm also going to say, do we put too much credence on the result of this today, considering it is still pre-season and they might have actually trained early this morning, so they could be coming into this pre-fatigued. Now, people forget that in pre-season a lot. So I'll go through the team. David De Gea is in net. Valencia, Bailly, Blind and Shaw make up the back four. I'm happy with that. That's quite a strong back four. Energetic midfield, Schneiderlin and Herrera. Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Marshall and Zlatan. Finally, making his debut up front. Rachel, talk to me, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think it's a lot stronger team than we saw against Dortmund. It's a lot similar to what we'll be seeing when the actual league starts and in the Community Shield. There are a few missing, like Smalling's missing from our back four, but there's rumours that he's injured, which is slightly worrying, but nothing been confirmed on that. But overall, yeah, and it should be good up front today. We should see a lot more structure in our attack than we saw last week.
Do you think the likes of Darmian would be coming back into this, or do you think Valencia could be a Jose Mourinho style player? Because I think there's a very good chance Valencia is limited, let's face it. He's very limited, but he is solid. He offers you physicality, he offers you speed. If he can just fit in with the rest of the back four, then I think you're going to see a decent player as a right back. Personally, though, I think from a technical standpoint, I think Valencia doesn't offer you as much as Darmian, for me at least.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Darmian. I was upset I didn't see him more last season. But, yeah, I don't mind. That's one of the positions where either way, it could go either way and I'll be happy with it. I'm happy, but more so I'm happy that Shaw's back on the other side and we've got a solid player back. I feel like our full-backs last season were really lacking. I don't think we have much depth in that area at all. And I think it's good that we've got Luke Shaw back.
I do think we haven't got a lot of depth, actually, though. A lot of the people that replied to the Full-Time Devils tweet that we stuck out earlier saying, how does Pogba come into this team? And we'll get onto that in a second. Have said they would like to see Fosu Mensah brought in ahead of Valencia. For me, he's not a right back, though. I don't want to see him at right back because I don't want him getting used to playing at right back. I want him to play him as a central midfielder, as an absolute destroyer tank machine that he is. That's where I want to see Fosu Mensah play.
Do you think Fosu Mensah would play well next to Pogba, or do you think they're too similar?
I think that's not fair on the rest of the league if you play Fosu Mensah next to Pogba, especially in like a year from now time. I think if Fosu Mensah continues to grow, I mean the guy's huge as it is, I don't think that's fair. I'd like to see him in a midfield three. I'd like someone like the energy of Herrera or maybe that controlling passing of someone like a Cruz. I'm talking dream midfield here, but then a destroyer like Fosu Mensah behind a Pogba. Are you kidding me? That would be one of the best midfields in the world, hands down. I'd love to see that.
How many times did we get told, though, that Pogba was never coming back to United, and now it almost looks like a sure thing. So you never know. Maybe we will get Cruz. I
don't think you get him out of Real Madrid unless they want him to go. That's the thing that Real Madrid are very good at. They only seem to sell players on their terms. We generally don't. If we get rid of someone, most of the time it's on our terms, but there's a couple of times, De Gea being one, and it was done, apart from a broken fax machine, let's face it, and Ronaldo. We didn't really want to let either of those go, but Madrid forced our hand on that. So Madrid, I don't ever recall them being forced into selling someone. They, let's face it, are the biggest club in the world. They're bigger than us, and if they want someone, typically they get what they're after. This time, we've blown them out of the water.
We were actually valued in May at just about the exact same value as Real Madrid, 2.8 to 9 billion. So we're actually an equal-sized club.
That's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of cash.
Well, we do have a phenomenal... I'm just trying to get the comments up here so I can reply to any of you guys that want to get in the mix on the comments. Doesn't look like there's any comments up at the moment. Here we go, live chat, there we go. Loads of comments coming up, so get your comments in and we'll respond to some of the comments as well. I have got the comments on here now. I think, yes, we are on par because of what we are financial power-wise. We generate a lot of income. We've got a tractor sponsor, we've got noodle sponsors, we've got Ethiopian mobile phone sponsors. But we have got sponsors all over the place. And the reason we've got those sponsors is, one, to the Glazer debt, and 2 is to make sure that we can afford massive, monumental, marquee signings like Paul Pogba. And for me, the money is absolutely irrelevant. The only question I want to ask is, does he improve Manchester United?
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. I don't think the money should come into it, not for us. And that sounds a bit arrogant, and I'm sure if you supported a different team in the Premier League, you'd be a little bit annoyed about that. Like, to say that we can throw our money around. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of money, and we can buy whoever we want.
There's a couple of people in the comments saying that there's a problem with the audio. Can you mention what's wrong with the audio, please, and then we'll try and fix it. Thanks. The game has not started yet. We are looking at around about 17 minutes prior to kickoff. So we'll go through the rest of the team. Midfield, we've got Schneiderlin and Herrera. One of those, at least, if we play 4-2-3-1, is going to be missing as soon as Paul Pogba comes in. Because let's face it, I'm talking like he's coming in because, you know what, I think he is coming in. I think relax. I think this is a massive transfer. I think there's loads of fine details to sort out. But apart from that, I'm pretty sure he'll be a Manchester United player before the end of the transfer window. So who's going to be replaced?
I feel like it's probably going to be Herrera. I'm a big fan of Schneiderlin. I think he does really well in the midfield, really well since coming from Southampton. He's good at controlling the ball. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of him in that position. He's good at getting the ball through. Next, I think he offers different to Paul Pogba as well, so I think they sit well side by side.
Yeah, I think Herrera brings like a real tempo and a real energy, and he's constantly looking to get it, give it and go again. He's always looking to move on for that space. Pogba is a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more selective with his passing. Don't often see him buzzing around, but you do see him arriving late in the edge of the box, on the edge of the box. A little bit reminiscent of Paul Scholes, the player that he was disrespected by, supposedly, by him being brought out of retirement. Now, a little bit disrespectful, that comment, but it's actually factual that they did bring a youth player, the youth coach, out of retirement instead of playing him. For me, he should have played. Simple as that, back in 2012. And I don't find it embarrassing that Paul Pogba is now being £100 million been spent on him. Different manager, different CEO, different era at the club. If it was Sir Alex Ferguson having to shell out £100 million after not playing him, then you go, yeah, Fergie, you cocked up, massive. But it's not him. He's no longer at the club. You can't pin it on him, and he don't care, I don't think. So, for me, 100 million, I'm not asked.
Yeah, and a lot of people are calling it a mistake, and I think it is easy to call it that, but you don't know the situation. You don't know, like, what was going on behind the scenes at the time. You don't know what Paul Pogba's agent was demanding. You know, the rumour is he was demanding first-team football, and if Alex Ferguson made the decision to let him go, then I think we have to trust in that to an extent.
Well, if he was demanding first-team football, then for me, he was correct. Because he went to Juventus, I think he played 30 or 29 games for Juventus that season. And then he's been an ever-present in the team since. He's played in Champions League finals. He's getting into the FIFA World 11. He was correct. He was correct in demanding first-team football. And I think a lot of people at the time could see that. Can you refresh us, please, Chris?
The world is perfect with hindsight.
The world is perfect with hindsight.
I'm just trying to back up my own...
It was a mistake, and you know, I think we can allow Fergie the occasional mistake because he was amazing at everything else that he did at the club. But you have to say that this was a mistake by Fergie, and I have to say he will be coming back, and I'm excited for that. I actually can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's almost like a fine in our club, just having to pay out 100 million for something that was already ours.
Right, get in the comments, tell us what your score prediction is going to be, and we'll read out some of them. Who do you think is going to be today's man of the match, and how excited are you for Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his Manchester United debut? Personally, I can't wait. I'm excited to see how he's going to fit in. He's not the sort of line-leading forward that I like to see forwards in a more... almost like a Chicharito style of mode. I like to see him playing on the last defender. I like to look for balls through. Zlatan doesn't play like that. Zlatan likes to come and operate in between the space. Zlatan will pull defenders out and allow the likes of Mkhitaryan and Marshall to come in behind them and get into the box. So I'm excited to see how that link-up play is and how he links up with Wayne Rooney. I think that's going to be very important today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like today the biggest, I feel like most eyes, well, everybody's watching Zlatan. It's his first game for Manchester United, but I feel like we're all watching and judging Wayne Rooney. I feel like if he doesn't play well today, that doesn't bode well for him next season.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry, I can't actually read the comments. There's that many comments coming through that they're just going blast every time I even get someone. Genius J says 20-0. I'm willing to say it won't be 20-0. What do you reckon?
I mean, I
3-1
don't...
United. A lot of people saying 3-1 United.
I mean,
50-0.
I predicted 3-1 against us last time, and I was almost right. We're going to call it right because there was a penalty that they didn't deserve. So overall, I was right. I think it's going to be maybe let's go for Karma and let's say 4-1 to us.
Cool. All right, I've got a comment here from Devin Gildner. What's your opinion on Tyler Blackett and will he get a chance under Mourinho? Now, I was at Salford on Tuesday. Tyler played. Tyler's very aggressive. Tyler's like very laid back, almost passive in the way he's played. And when we watched him coming up through the academy, he's a nice lad. And he had a right go at the linesman 10-15 minutes from the end. Then lifted someone. Then went on a rampage down the middle. And he was playing angry. And do you know what? I thought Tyler had an excellent game the other night. He's a massive lad. He was playing at left back, which I don't think suits a player of his size. He's got to play at centre half for me. But at centre half, there's a massive queue of people ahead of him. And I think Roshan's ahead of him. I think Tuanzebe's probably ahead of him. Blind, easily ahead of him. And I think Bay and Smalling obviously are ahead of him. So he's at the age now where he probably needs to go out on loan again, unfortunately. And he can still prove himself. Like, I don't like writing players off at 22, 23, 21 years of age. Because the likes of David Beckham and Paul Scholes were not breaking into the first team until that sort of age. Only the likes of Gary Neville really got in at 17, 18. The top players that we've had at the club, a lot of them did not come through until their early 20s. So writing players off, I see people writing James Wilson off. James Wilson's one of the most natural goal scorers I have ever seen in my life. People writing him off. He's past it. Even Will Keane. Will Keane's only been slowed down because of injuries. If Will Keane could stay fit, Will Keane would be a nightmare. And I think he probably will go. I think he'll be one of the players that Mourinho lets go either on loan or permanent. And I think he'll do fantastic if he can stay fit. And it's not like he's an injury-prone player, really. The injuries that he's been getting have been impact injuries. They've not been like muscle injuries that he's been getting because he's not warmed up properly or he's just imbalanced. He broke his leg. I mean, no one's injury-prone for breaking legs, are they? So I see people writing players off all the time. For me, Tyler Blackett, I think he won't get a chance, but I'd like him to get a chance because he's a nice lad and he's a good footballer, a good technical footballer. He's got a right ping on him as well, left foot union. Right, we'll get another comment in the mixer. We are looking at about 11 minutes till kick-off. Pogba is worth £5 and Alfredo. Alfredo's really going up that high?
Inflation, isn't it?
Some serious inflation. With 10p when I was a lad.
15p.
Can we win the league, somebody just said.
Can we win the...
Still people are saying the audio needs to be fixed. Blackett will destroy Salford. Can we win the league? I think once Paul Pogba arrives, I make us favourites for the league. That doesn't mean that we will win the league because there's 38 games and there's all sorts of things can happen. Look at what happened to Luke Shaw last year. Easily our best outfield player and breaks his leg. And that changes it.
I think we're favourites to win the league with Pogba, and I find that almost a little bit worrying. Like I feel like there's only disappointment ahead for us.
I see only excitement. But if you go through it logically and you go, right, okay, who's going to do what? Right, let's start with Leicester, last season's champions. They've lost Mahrez. That's a problem for them. I think that's a huge problem. And I also think Jamie Vardy may have peaked for them. So they've also lost Kante. They're not going to be the same. They certainly wasn't ever going to win the league. I don't think they'll be the same. So,
I don't think they'll do as badly as people expect, though. I think they'll still stay top 6.
I think they'll likely have a bit of a carryover where they're still effective. Second, Arsenal. Arsenal have signed Xhaka, potentially going to get Mahrez. That might improve them, but again, it's just another creative player, another midfielder, where they've already got a ton of midfielders. They've got an inability to sign a real goal-scoring striker. They couldn't even sign Jamie Vardy. They was never signing Anthony Martial. Let's get that straight. So they've signed some Japanese kid who scored 1 in 6 in the Japanese league. For me, what's he going to do in the Premier League if he can only score 1 in 6 in Japan? He's not going to be lighting the Premier League up, is he? You're not looking at 30 goals out of that kid. So Arsenal just going to be the same again. They're just more of the same with them. That's why they'll never win the league because they don't try and do anything different. Third place was Spurs. They've not improved yet.
They've not. They're carrying along. They like to say that they haven't been through transition, so that'll benefit them. But I don't know if that's true. Like, it's not like they've had a whole summer together. They've all been off at the Euros or travelling. I think they're in the exact same situation as any other club, and I don't think they've strengthened. They've maybe got a slightly deeper squad now with some of their signings, but I don't think they've majorly improved. I don't think they're going to win the league.
I think they needed to improve in depth and arguably another striker. Apart from that, they've got a very strong team. But yeah, I don't see that they've improved. They've not leveled up, and I think they needed to level up. And then you look at City and you go, okay, the appointment of Pep Guardiola is good for them. That's all they've done. Nolito, sorry, he's not going to play as much as Aguero. So what have they done? They finished level on points with a terrible Manchester United side, a side that had our fans going absolutely ballistic last year. They finished level on points. What have they done to level up? Manchester United, 5th place last year, level on points with the City team that was going to walk the league, supposedly. And what was we lacking? We was lacking goals, we was lacking creativity, and we was lacking a powerhouse in midfield. Sorted. The assists also sorted through Pogba. We've literally gone out and bought assists through Mkhitaryan and goals through Mkhitaryan. And Zlatan, whatever you think about him, he's not going to score 38 goals this season. But he's going to score more goals than some of our strikers did last season.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing with City, their hope will be that they can keep their players fit, just like any team in the side. I think the fact that they lost De Bruyne for a chunk of last season really hurt them. And I think they are a threat. I think our biggest threats probably are City and maybe Chelsea. But Chelsea are coming from a lot further back than we are.
I think Chelsea will come top 3.
Yeah.
I think the signing of Kante is absolutely fantastic, and I think Conte is a hell of a manager. And I think it's going to be between us, Chelsea, and City. I think Arsenal are going to 4th place it. Nice one. I think Spurs are potentially going to fall out of the top 4, and I think Leicester will fall out of the top 4. But I look at the season and I say, we have at the moment, there's still a game in the window, isn't there? There's still another month to go. I see Manchester United of doing the best business at the moment. We've appointed a guy that knows how to win this league. Yeah, it fell apart for him last season. It falls apart for some people some seasons.
Yeah.
And whatever happened at Chelsea, happened at Chelsea. All I can say is that from the looks of it, from the outside, if you look at his Instagram account, Jose Mourinho is in love with Manchester United, and that warms my heart. Because the guy is an obsessive guy, and the guy is throwing everything into doing this job. And if he's that obsessive about it, and this is a guy that prepares so well, then we're in for a treat, I think, this season. And you know that we're going to win the League Cup because he loves a League Cup, don't you? So we're going to be going Wembley, I think, by the end of February at the earliest. So go and book your hotels right now.
Yeah, I don't think any fan of any team would deny that we've definitely done the best business in this transfer season. I think it's uncontestable. The players we've brought in, the fact that Zlatan was free, our manager, the fact that obviously our manager was told, and he's obviously been working towards these transfers most of the season. I think it's just all falling into place for us right now.
Someone's just put in the comments, Arsenal over Man United.
What are you doing here?
I don't even have a comment for you, mate. That's ridiculous. Marcus Rashford tore you to pieces. How's that sound? We need a right winger that is left-footed. I disagree. I think this is from Devon Ramirez. I absolutely disagree. Inverted wingers is one thing, and I think I like the asymmetric attack that you're going to get with Mkhitaryan. For me, Mkhitaryan's going to play on the right where he's playing today with Rooney as a number 10. And he's going to operate in and around. He's going to come around the back, and he's also going to cut inside. You're also going to see Marshall on the left-hand side, who is not a winger. He is just a left-sided forward. He's cutting in for himself. He's cutting in to shoot. And he also mentioned Callus Gribbin. I'm assuming he means should be given a chance, and I absolutely 100% disagree on that. Callum Gribbin is not worth a chance. I'd be amazed if he makes it. There you go. Deal with that.
Harsh words, but true.
I don't see anything in Callum Gribbin at the moment. If you're watching Callum Gribbin, you're thinking he's awesome. It's because you're watching vines of him doing something, because the guy's ridiculously talented. But the reason he's not going to make it is because he doesn't seem to apply himself. If you go and watch the youth games, you can hear the coaches shouting to the players. And if Callum Gribbin needs to be shouted at constantly for 89 minutes, and then in 1 minute he does something special, then that tells me that the coaches are getting frustrated with him. Yeah. If the coaches are getting frustrated with him, he's not going to be given the opportunities. It's not the sort of thing where you could see that Marcus Rashford, the things that he was shouting was like, well done. Stuff like that. And you can hear the likes of Roshan Williams. Roshan Williams will tell every single player on that pitch that they're doing a good job. And I love that. The guy over there on the far side of the pitch, you can't even hear him be shouting, yes, well done, keep it up. That's leadership qualities from a 17-year-old centre-half. And that's for me why Roshan Williams is ahead of Phil Jones in the pecking order. Because he was schooling Phil Jones at the back end of last season. Phil Jones is in a wilderness at the moment. I think he needs to move on for the benefit of his career. He should not be starting games for Manchester United this season, in my opinion.
I can't imagine Phil Jones starting a game. I think he's just not got the quality. Like, if we want to, you can't look at Phil Jones and think that he deserves to win a Premier League. Like, how on earth does Phil Jones get into a Premier League winning side? A lot of people like to say he's been injured, though.
He has got a medal. He has got a medal.
That's good for Phil Jones, isn't it? That's nice for Phil. He'll be happy.
Any more comments? When's Pogba coming Man U? I would imagine before the end of the transfer window. How's that?
But the season starts before then.
It does, and do you know what? I don't care. Even if we get the first couple of games out of the way and he's still messing around about what's going on, I don't care. Because as long as he comes before the end of the window and he's a Manchester United player for this season at some point, I'm not bothered because he'll make that much of a difference.
Yeah, that's what matters. But like, I still would like him here, like now or tomorrow, or supposedly on Monday. I read.
I wouldn't read too much into what anybody is saying in terms of that sort of stuff.
It's so interesting. Like, everything you read is so contradictory. Up until about a week ago, I was over the Paul Pogba thing. I was ready to ignore it. I, at one point, read online that Paul Pogba was definitely coming to Manchester United because he had unfollowed Juventus on Twitter. And then I found out 10 minutes later that he'd never followed Juventus on Twitter in the first place.
The things people do for a story.
So
is
that,
ridiculous.
the saddest part of it is, though, I did read it. Like, I did click on it, and I did get to the end.
Right, I'll go through the team again for those of you that's just joining us. We have got David Hay in net, Valencia, Bailey, Blind and Shaw make up the back four. Schneidlin and Herrera are going to be sitting with Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Marshall and Ibrahimovic up front. We finally get to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm excited about that. I don't know about you.
I'm excited. I'm a little bit wary. I just want him to go out and be amazing, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
The confidence that you're going to have in the team with a combination of Jose Mourinho and Zlatan and what potentially Paul Pogba's going to bring in there is huge. I don't think it can be quantified what that's going to bring for us. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. It looks like we're a couple of minutes away. MUTV are just showing the crowd at the moment. It looks like it's pretty full in there already.
It's a good crowd.
Only red shirts, as you would imagine.
Obviously.
Why are we playing Galatasaray in Sweden?
I don't know
where that one came about.
I have literally no idea. I'm not even 100% sure how the ICC works. Like, I'm not sure who wins it, when they win it. Does anyone care? Is there a trophy?
We won it a couple of years ago over in LA, I think. I don't know. We didn't have a parade for it.
That's not very nice.
It's a strange one, isn't it?
Oh, we're playing in white.
I think no one clocked on as well. It was only once Zlatan was announced that I was like, hang on. Did no one realise that we'd already just booked a game in Sweden? And nobody had said anything about it. So we're in the tunnel now. Wayne Rooney there talking to the refs. We are playing in the new white kit. I guess it's to be expected. I think we were expected to be parading the new red kit against City on Monday for obvious reasons. That one didn't go ahead. I'm amazed the game got called off.
Oh, there it is.
Well, there he is. There's Zlatan. Again, gets called off for rain in China when we live in Manchester. But when you see the state of the pitch was horrific, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was unplayable. It was very understandable.
Horrific.
I really like that kit, you know.
It's not bad.
I like it. I think it's a little bit more feminine than most kits, you know. That's probably why I like it.
The new red kit's not bad. I don't understand why they're saying it's heart back to Newton Heath just because it's got two sides to it. Doesn't really add up that to me. Newton Heath played in green and gold.
I think people just needed something to say.
Yeah, I think that someone from Nike went. Adidas went. It's related to Newton Heath. I'm like, okay, good. Right, I'll go and dive back into the comments, see if anyone has got anything that they want us to talk about, anything that we want to say. Absolutely tons of them. Why should Zlatan... What? So Pogba will be number 6 or number 8? I think he'll be number 6. Well, Matt's got number 8, so I don't think he's going to be taking that off him. He's not going to be taking the 10.
Yeah, no. I think he's definitely Pogba number 6.
Yeah, I think he's number 6. A bit of a gamble by that lad today, who's gone and got Pogba to sign his shirt, number 6. Go and head over to Full Time Devils Twitter and have a look at that. We tweeted that earlier this morning. There's a guy who'd been on Instagram, met Pogba at the studios, Universal Studios in LA, got him to sign his Pogba 6 shirt. That's a massive gamble before he signs, to pick the number and to get the guy on there for starters as well.
Yeah, it was a gamble to buy it. It worked out very well for him, because even if he doesn't sign, that's still a great shirt to have signed.
I think he's probably correct in that he will be coming, but guessing on the number. We've seen people crying all over the place that they had Marshall 9, and then Zlatan's come in and changed it. But
I think Marshall cried about that as well.
It's a gamble, isn't it, until the final squad numbers are confirmed. That's the way it's going to be. Mourinho there walking over the pitch. This pitch looks a lot better than that one did in China. Players are walking out now.
The respect flag. That's always nice.
Should Schneidlin start regularly, says Anuj. Maybe not in a two-man midfield. I think if you was going to play a 4-3-3 and you had a triangle of someone energetic like Herrera, someone unbelievable like a Pogba, and then you could use the likes of Carrick and Schneiderlin for me, I think, at least, at the base of a triangle. I think that would be the perfect utilisation of them, because he's going to protect that back four and allow the others to go and do a little bit of work. Definitely do. I see us doing it, but I also want us to do it, is evolve to a 4-3-3 instead of 4-2-3-1. It's played out. Everyone plays 4-2-3-1 at the minute.
Yeah, it's good to do something different. I think Leicester proved that last season, that if people aren't always, if you're different from the norm, you can do a lot against a team that's not what you're expecting.
Please show the stadium. We can't show the stadium, I'm afraid. We're not allowed to show. We don't have the rights to show the match. So this is going to be a live watch along. The audio we are working on. If it's still a problem, let us know in the comments. Any questions, fire them out at us, and we'll be answering these all the way through. We're trying to get Skype working. Unfortunately, Skype's not working at the moment. So if you are trying to call and we're not answering, that is the reason. We have got some Nicky Butt stuff as well out on YouTube, if you want to go and check that out. Where he spoke about what Mourinho's changed. He spoke about, is the academy failing? No, sir. He spoke about all sorts of stuff. So again, the team, we are about to kick off right now. So De Gea in net, Valencia, Bay, Blind and Shaw. I like the look of that back four, I really do. Schneiderlin and Herrera, Rooney, Marshall, Mkhitaryan and Ibrahimovic. That feels good to have Ibrahimovic in the team. Mkhitaryan has impressed me. Man of the match in both games so far.
Yeah, he's done really well. He's really took that position on. He's really good on the right-hand side. He scored a goal. He didn't really create the goal. It does frustrate me a little bit sometimes that when he just goes down on the score sheet. But if you saw it, like, well, it was Blind and then it was Mata and you tapped it in. But that doesn't matter. He did well. He's played really well. And yeah, hopefully he'll light it up tonight.
Stephen, who is the best at footy out of me, Gaz and Adam? Do you know what? McCullough's a bit of a low-key player, you know. Keep an eye on him. He likes to say he's got the best left foot on YouTube. No comment on that, but he's better than me. I'll give you that much. Gaz, I don't know. Gaz looks like he could easily get bullied, doesn't he? So, I don't know.
Yeah, Gaz would just leave the pitch into it is.
Where do I stand on the sale of Adnan Januzaj, says Carter. The reason why he wasn't working under Van Gaal, I'm led to believe, is that Adnan with the ball is excellent. He's intuitive, he knows what to do, he's got an excellent pass on him, a decent shot, moves into the right sort of positions, but without the ball, he's either unwilling or unable to follow the sort of instructions that Louis van Gaal was giving him. Louis van Gaal meticulous, screaming at players if they're 1 metre out of position defensively. Now, the issue with that is Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, defensively at least, share the same sort of philosophy. I hate to use the word. I've used the word, deal with it. So what I see is potentially the same sort of issue for Adnan. On the ball, fantastic. And I believe that under Moyes just said to him, you play, right lads, here's the team talk. And just left Adnan to do what he had to do. So I can see the same sort of problems for him. And I think he's a wonderful footballer. I think you should probably go and spend some time with Moyes up in the northeast and see what he can do with him there. And maybe he can develop a little bit that side of his game, but also have the freedom to do what he needs to do with the ball.
We've kicked off now. We've got the ball, taking it through. Oh.
Pre-season should be something to fool the Premier League opponents. Well, if you watched any of our pre-seasons under Louis van Gaal, Habib, that definitely fooled our Premier League opponents because we looked phenomenal, didn't we? Tore Barcelona to pieces, tore Real Madrid to pieces, and then bored the piss out of everyone for the whole Premier League season. So we definitely did that. Can we do it this time? I don't know. Are we going to sell Mata, says Dev Patel. Wouldn't shock me, in all honesty. Where do you see him fitting in there at the moment?
I feel like he's very much a bench warmer if he stays at the club. I feel like he'll probably get to play, but I feel like he'll be subbed on when we've probably wrapped the game up just to see it out. Like, I'm a big fan of Mata, and I also like the fact that he's liked by all the players. Like, I think that's good for a team dynamic, but our front four, I don't see who he's pushing out of the team. Maybe Rooney, but I don't know. I'm actually a Rooney. I think he's going to be able to hold it.
We're going to see. We're going to find out. But I think Mata, the only position he's getting in there is as number 10, and I think he's going to struggle. Manis Sokal says, where do I stand? Me and Adam are both on Tier 2 Stretford End. Where are you?
What?
Where do you stand in the ground?
Yeah, no, I can't afford a Manchester United ticket. I'm a recently graduated student. I'll watch on MUTV.
Evolving you for a decent price. The problem now when you're a Premier League player, You're looking at the values that put on Premier League players. I mean, we've just spent 100 million. You're not going to get value for a Premier League footballer from another Premier League team, because Premier League teams now, as we saw with Everton and Stones last season, they don't need to sell. So they just go crazy valuation, pay it or sling it. So I think that's the reason why you've seen a lot of teams moving towards Europe and looking to Germany. Germany, you get decent value for money. Mkhitaryan, for the money that we paid for him, he's obscene. He's absolutely obscene how cheap we've got him.
Yeah.
And I think Mkhitaryan could be our best player this year, because everyone's going to be looking at Pogba, everyone's going to be looking at Zlatan, and he's just going to be left to do his thing, and he's very good at what he does. So I think he could slip under the radar. That was a great ball from Blind.
Oh, low. We've still got it.
We're attacking. We are moving through the thirds
Blind.
a hell of a lot quicker.
Oh.
Shots off. Oh,
Got
it's
in! Oh my God, who
Unbelievable.
scored
How's that
that?
gone in?
Oh,
Anthony Martial. Well, do you know what? That move was made from the ball from Blind from the back four. Zlatan controls it on the turn around about 3 players, plays it out wide for Valencia, puts a decent cross in, which Martial hit. I'm going to have to wait and see the replay.
Yeah,
Martial's hit it.
It was a bicycle kick. I think Zlatan did a bicycle kick to get it in.
So here you go. Valencia puts a decent ball in. That might be the first Valencia ball. Oh no, it
Yes,
is.
Zlatan.
So it's hit the floor. He must have missed it. It must have come off the instep. It's hit the floor and then gone in over the keeper. The keeper's not even moved.
It was a great cross, though.
It is a great cross. He's not connected with that well at all.
Oh, he's done.
They all
That's.
count.
I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy that happened. I feel like there was pressure on him, like to start, like to be Zlatan in his first game. Well, he scored now, so he's done.
I think Zlatan's movement in the centre circle there was phenomenal. His touch and spreading it out. As we mentioned at the start of the show, Zlatan coming in, moving in between the lines. That's not on the last shoulder of the defender. That's not the striker that I said he was going to be, or not the striker that I thought I liked. That's what Zlatan brings. He comes in and drifts off deep. And you can do that when you've got somebody like an Anthony Martial who isn't a traditional winger, who isn't a traditional left-sided midfielder, and he is a forward. And as we saw this last season quite a lot with Rashford as well. When the ball's played into the box, because Martial's a striker, his instinct is to get in there. You end up with 2 players in the box. I like that. And we ended up with 2 players in the box. Defence didn't know who to pick up. It was a miss-hit shot, but 1-0 Manchester United, 4 minutes gone. Absolutely happy days.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you would expect, but it works so well.
Oh, they're saying Zlatan scored.
Yeah, it was Zlatan
I
scored.
thought it was Martial.
No, Zlatan, overhead kick. I just said that. I'm happy he scored.
I thought it was Martial. The stream that we're watching on is not the greatest, so apologies on that one. I actually thought it was Martial.
No, yeah, Zlatan scored an overhead kick.
Unbelievable. 4 minutes into his United debut.
Yeah.
No, everybody asking, will we show the game? We're not allowed to show the game. We don't have the rights. We are just going to be talking about it and speaking to you guys in the comments.
We will tell you what's happening now. We are defending. They are pressing high. And it's a throw-in, but who knows? Yeah, do you know what? I really like that kit. I think I might buy that kit. That's going to be my shirt.
I'm just trying to find any comments. Looks like the comments have stopped a little bit. What do I think about James Weir's future? Now, James Weir is another one who's a phenomenal servant, under-21s captain. The players seem to absolutely love the guy as well, the lads in the under-21 squad. But where do you see him breaking in? I think he's going to fall into the trap of being like a jack of all trades and not really a master of one. He played up front today, he played on the left, I think, the other night. Yeah, he did play on the left the other night. I've seen him play everywhere apart from centre-half, and I was talking to Tony Park, the Manchester United historian, about it, and I mentioned I've seen him play in every position apart from centre-half, and Tony had actually seen him play at centre-half in the under-18s. The guy can literally play every position on the pitch, and he's an honest player, an absolute grafter. But that unfortunately isn't the sort of player that comes through. Maybe he can be kept around as a decent utility squad player.
Yeah.
But those utility squad players never really break into the first team because, you, as Mourinho has said, you need specialists. You need people who are expert centre forwards, expert centre mids, expert right wingers, left wingers. And unfortunately, when you're a utility player, you can go, I can play everywhere. You're not really able to put your hand up above somebody who maybe isn't quite as a jack of all trades. If you look at, you want a centre half, you're going to bring Roshan or Tuanzebe through. You want a centre forward, Rashford's going to be your man. You want a winger, there's actually a bit of a lack of wingers in the academy at the moment. Although I spoke to Angel Gomez. Everyone knows Angel's one of my favourite prospects in the academy. I spoke to Angel Gomez and I said, what's the new lads like coming through? And he said to me, Tahi Chong is sick. So I am excited to see how Chong looks. Playing on the left-hand side, I think, with Angel as a number 10 behind him. Chong is a right player. Angel Gomez or Fosu Mensah, says somebody. Can we not have both? They don't play in the same position. I'd love to see them play in the first team one day together.
Yeah, we do have a lot of really good academy players. It is hard I think when you think about it, you wish they could all come through, but in reality it's never going to happen.
It isn't, and the problem that we've got is, at the moment, we've got Tuanzebe, potentially Fosu Mensah, Roshan and Tyrell Warren. All can play centre-half. 4 young lads, 17 and 18, so they're all basically looking at the same, probably one spot in the team, and 4 into 1 doesn't go. It's going to be a case of who gets their chance first, and I think that's probably going to be Tuanzebe, needs to take it.
Yeah.
If Tuanzebe doesn't take it, he'll be passed along and it'll go to Roshan probably next. If Roshan doesn't take it, Tyrell Warren might get the chance. But if one of those takes it, then the rest of them are potentially going to miss out. And unfortunately, and I mean, I don't know how this works in a team, your teammates, but half of the time, hope he gets injured. Oh, we might have Skype. So if you want to call us up on Skype, hit FT Devils. Seconds. About 5 minutes. We're going to go to Skype and we'll take some calls. Oh, we've got somebody on Skype right now. Hello, who am I talking to? If we put in, but I think Shaw is a potential world-class player. Absolutely phenomenal, and I like to see how he develops and how he plays this season. I'm definitely looking forward to him at that.
He seems settled in the team at the moment, but obviously it's only pre-season, which I feel like we say constantly, but he's playing really well.
How do you call FT Devils? Get yourself on Skype. Bosh. Who's Pogba's midfield partner? I think if we're playing in a 2, if I'm picking a team today for the first match of the season against Bournemouth, I'm going to go with Carrick. Although we haven't really seen a lot of him in pre-season, I'm going to say Michael Carrick gets my nod to play alongside him, and that's just for the composure that Michael Carrick brings, the leadership Michael Carrick brings. Don't want anyone getting too carried away. Pogba does like to drift. Oh, are we in there? Pogba does like to drift. He likes to roam around the pitch a little bit, so you need someone with good positional discipline. Now, I think you get that from Schneiderlin, but I think you also get that calming influence, that composure from Michael Carrick. So for me, I'd go Pogba and Carrick, and then Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Marshall ahead of him with Zlatan, and see how that gets on.
So would you start Rooney ahead of Mata?
I would at the moment, yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I probably would, but I also think that Mourinho's gonna, so...
You just got to resign to it and expect it.
Yeah, as much as maybe I like Sergio Romero, you have to think he's not going to play ahead of De Gea, is it? Not going to happen. And I'm not saying I do.
I was going to say.
As an example, if I liked Sergio Romero, and I think he's a hell of a keeper. I think he's just happy to be at United.
United fans push their way through.
Any more questions? Oh, it was Zlatan. People are confirming. I do apologise.
It was a great ball in from Valencia, that great cross.
It was a hell of a cross. I'm critical of Valencia because that could have been down to Van Gaal, but he did it under Moyes as well. Valencia's favourite pass is the 90-degree inside pass to a midfielder or a defender when he got down there. But Valencia, that was 2010 vintage Valencia, getting to the byline and throwing a cross in. I love when wingers do that. That is my favourite thing. I like 2 up front and I like wingers who cross the ball.
But yeah, well maybe that shows Jose getting the best out of all of his players already.
I think what Jose does is he brings that turnover. What we're going to see different is you're going to see United look to try and have a shot off in the first 20-25 seconds rather than that slow, patient build-up. It's going to be a little bit more frantic, I think, in the final third. That's how you get behind teams. That's how you can exploit the space. And that's how you score goals sometimes. There's no right answer, is there, to football because it's all problem-solving on the fly. But if you have a certain philosophy that you go to, I mean, Guardiola... Van Gaal, there's a couple of managers that have that slow build-up sort of thing, and then there's a couple of managers, I mean even Big Sam's going to be looking to get crosses into the box, he's going to be looking to pump balls into the box, and it's percentage football. It's Wimbledon back in the 80s, but it works. Wimbledon win the FA Cup against the all-conquering Liverpool because they just believe in their own philosophy and they're able to execute it. And that's football. That's why it's fantastic, because there's no right answer to everything. It's all how it's implemented by the day. You've got 11 guys against 11 guys, and if one has a bad game, it can completely influence the result and the performances of every other player on there. That's why we love it. Are we ready to go to Skype yet? Are we ready to go to Skype yet? Bay there in the back. So many different styles across the Premier League this season, and we've seen with Klopp coming in the high press that Liverpool deal better once they've got the ball. So there's little aspects you can pinch from other people's games, and you can say this might work, but that won't work. And I'm hoping that we see the pragmatic Mourinho when we need it, and the steamroll Mourinho.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about Liverpool. Like, you watch them press, you watch them win the ball, and you expect so much more than they actually end up with. I'm a big fan of Klopp.
Why do I always defend Memphis, says Kyle Stanton? Never seen him show up against a decent team besides Watford. That's because he didn't play in those games. Against Arsenal, when Rashford scored, Memphis had a hell of a game. Memphis was fantastic. And people say he's lazy. I actually spoke to Squawker, but in my gut feeling, with the ball at his feet. But I think he's a player that needs trusting. I'm not saying he's better than Marshall. I'm just saying that Marshall is a very lazy player.
Yeah.
And I don't mind lazy players. If you're a winger for me, you can be a lazy player. You don't have to be Carlos Tevez. You don't need to be terracing around the pitch for me. I don't mind players that can just stand there and be like, let it all happen around me. Look at Messi. Messi might be one of the laziest defensive players in the world, but guess what? When it comes to his feet, the guy's magic.
Yeah, I think Louis van Gaal, like, he put a lot of youth in our team, but he had very much an approach which was very much like, you put them in and then you leave them to it. And like for Marshall,
and he was ragged off and dropped. So when is that? I think he's a player that's secure. I think he needed, and I think Mourinho will be either one of two things. He'll be either amazing for him, or he will literally fall by the wayside. There's not going to be anything in between. Do we have anyone on Skype? I've got nothing in my ear.
But no, I think
Anybody there?
I'm hoping Memphis comes through. I hope he does. I think he's got so much potential. I don't know where he fits in this team though. Like, I don't.
This is another thing. I think the 4-2-3-1, at least under the deployment that we saw under Louis van Gaal, when he's receiving the ball with his back to the byline, with his, when he's receiving it standing still, on the touchline, then I don't think he can go very many places with it. On Skype. I think we have a caller on Skype. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, is anyone there?
Shout out to whoever's on Skype.
Hello?
I'm sure somebody is there. I'm sure they're very frustrated on their end.
Can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. Oh, okay,
poor Chris.
Put that one
Chris. We've all again. Gone Valencia. 1-2.
And one thing that annoyed me under Van Gaal was when players would run away from the guy in the ball. I don't like that. I like players to come to the ball. Not as much as a Barcelona, where they're literally surrounding the guy with the ball, like, flies around shit. But I like options. If you're in possession of the ball, I like the ball carrier to have options. And we didn't have enough options last year. There wasn't enough movement either. Look how fast we're attacking here. We're attacking the final third.
Beautiful
People
from Martial.
running at players. There's movement ahead of them. There's 6 players now on the edge of their box or in their box. That's Manchester United attacking that.
Martial's cutting in then was amazing. He could have got past anybody then. And then, we did lose it in the final. Really good play. Today's going to be interesting as well to do a comparison of Blind versus Bailey. Because I feel like they're probably two going for the other centre-half spot in our team. Who do you think's getting it?
I think it'll be smaller than Bailey, but it wouldn't shock me to see if Blind did, because Blind's excellent with the ball. As we saw for the goal, his pass literally made that. You've gone from your centre-half to your striker, who's turned and played a ball out to a full-back who's in space. So I think we might be ready for a Skype.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm alright. It took a while. I'm Dylan. I'm from Stoke.
Hello, Dylan from Stoke. Is it sunny in Stoke?
That's how. No.
Match at the moment. You have seen the goal. Did you see the build up to the goal?
No, I've just saw it from Valencia crossing the ball in.
Well, what made it was Blind's pass. Blind played it. Had no right to keep hold of the ball around about 2 or 3 players. Lays it off, and you've seen it from there, haven't you? Unbelievable sort of Manchester. Yeah. We're on the attack again. How excited are you about the start of the season, Dylan?
Very close to the title. Very close. I think Zlatan's experience is going to be so key in the league. Austin slipped off, and that's what cost us getting top 4. Zlatan, it's just goals and assists. He brought goals and assists, and I think playing players like Fellaini, Messi.
Threat to us in the league, do you think? Do you think it'll be City? Do you think it'll be Arsenal? Do you think it
I think Chelsea with doing up this year
can play football?
Yeah. Well, he's been in the very good player. I don't know why. None of the Chelsea. A lot of things went wrong for him last year.
That's right.
An OG.
So free kick. It wasn't great. There's no one really celebrating, so I'm going to assume it was an own.
He scored for Galatasaray. That's what I'm saying.
That was definitely Zlatan's touch on. All right, thanks, Dylan. Nice to speak to you. 1 point during the season.
Thank you.
See you later. Oh well, so yeah, from the angle that we saw, that looked like Zlatan had put it in his own net, but yeah, it just hit Douglas in the face.
Zlatan only
That's
just
why he didn't
missed
celebrate.
it.
Yeah.
Only just missed it, yeah.
Gummus. Yeah, not Douglas.
Gummus. I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of him before.
There. Was that Mkhitaryan?
Run!
That was a hell of a first touch then from Mkhitaryan.
Our new signings are settling in very well.
Let's dive in to the comments. Why do I think Manchester United never played at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for pre-season? I agree, it does probably make sense because the Glazers own the books as well, but I don't think that there's that loving between the two clubs. There's obviously hostility towards the Glazers from most of Manchester United, and I think that would be hard to hide from any PR point of view. You'd be like, oh, look, we're doing it at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're all friends, and then you speak to any of the fans outside and they'd be like, nah, I don't think so, this is bullshit. So I think that's why, mate. And I think there's also bigger areas for us to go to and exploit, I think is the word.
Oh, great.
Especially like the likes of Ann Arbor, to go to the big house. I think if we could, we would play more in LA, where there's a massive Manchester United fan base. I don't think Tampa Bay is a massive Manchester United hotbed. I think there's other places that would benefit from Manchester United going a little bit more. Let's have a look at some more comments. Let's see what the crack is.
On the defensive now.
Lee Fraser says, do I think Depay could go out on loan or Tubiganiga? No, why would you take him out on loan? The guy doesn't need developing in that sort of sense. He literally just needs a run of games and the confidence from his manager that he's not going to get dropped if he makes one mistake. And I think he'll be fine.
Guys, that's why I'm doing quite well actually. I always feel like arrogant coming into this. Like I thought we would definitely win it, but it's all square now, and
It's pre-season.
Yeah, anything can happen.
We need another centre back and a right back, says Prince Zaka.
I think we need another centre back.
I wanted to see us sign an old, experienced centre half, a 29 or a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
A right back, I'm happy to go in. You mentioned that we didn't have a lot of depth. I disagree on that.
Yeah.
We've got Fosu Mensah who can play there as much as I dislike it. You've also got Joe Riley, who I've got a lot of time for. I think he's a fantastic player. Energy on him is ridiculous. Look at the tempo of the play here.
It's
One-touch
amazing.
footballs. This is brilliant. Mkhitaryan on the right, what's he going to do? He's going to lose it. He's lost it.
2-on-1.
The one-touch
No
football
chance.
from inside our half then to get in an attacking position, that was great to see. That I hope we replicate. That I hope carries into the season.
Good tackle there. Our stream's not very good, so I'm not 100% sure who actually created that tackle.
My thoughts on Fosu Mensah supposedly leaving United. I cried for only about 17 hours.
Real men cry.
I got over it pretty quick, I think. I'm speaking to someone about it. I'm gutted. I'm properly gutted. Fosu Mensah, for me, I've written an article about him in December or January, and I said the next academy superstar is Timothy Fosu Mensah. The guy's got it all. The guy has literally got it all. I see him a lot more defensive than a Paul Pogba. A lot of people compare him to Pogba. I think that's a lazy comparison. I see him as a real Brian Robson sort of player. He's 18 years old. I'm talking about Captain Marvel here. He's a leader. He gets on the end of stuff. He rampages through the middle. He sweeps up anything before him. Physically, he's intimidating. The guy's a beast. And he watches Full-Time Devils. So he's all right by me.
Does he?
He does.
That's
when I was at
good.
Player of the Year Awards, I seen him and I said, Timbo. And he grabbed me, hugged me, and I went, do you watch Full-Time Devils? And he said, of course.
And that's why you got away with calling him Timbo.
Yep, and I give him a big hug.
And that's just it now. You'll
That was
never...
it.
That you talk, you peaked.
Timbo watches it. I know Cameron Borthwick Jackson watches it. I don't know if they're watching right now.
Oh,
But I
Borthwick.
know that there's a few of the academy lads at least watch us.
What do you think about Borthwick Jackson's future? Supposedly he's been named in that list that's going around.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit, to be honest.
Same.
And then I had a text message telling me that I was wrong and that actually him and Timbo could be going out on loan, which that's why I cried for 17 hours. I was devastated.
It's not great, is it?
Unfortunately, he's got Luke Shaw ahead of him, and they're fairly similar in age. There's only a couple of years between the two of them, but he's a totally different style of footballer to Luke Shaw, but still very good. And I think I'd love to see Cameron going on an excellent career. I don't think it can be at United with Luke Shaw and him being so close in age. What we saw with, let's just pick two players for example, Fabio and Rafael. We signed Fabio because he was the one that we wanted. Rafael came as part of the package. Rafael made his debut first. Rafael went on to play 100 games before Fabio even had 10. The reason for that was because he had an ageing Gary Neville in front of him. Fabio had Paddy Evra, who never had a day off, like ever. I don't even remember Paddy Evra being injured once. So you have Paddy Evra in front of you, doesn't miss a game. He gets stifled, he doesn't get the games, and Rafael develops, gets 100 games, is loved by everyone, and in reality it was probably Fabio the one that we wanted more. Player development and games at between 18 and 22 is so key. You've got to get as much football as possible. And I fear for a lot of our players because they're wonderful footballers. And Andreas Pereira and Januzaj are in this predicament at the moment. Do you stay or do you go? Do you stick or do you twist? Do you try and hold out for that potentially once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that Rashford got last season?
Yeah.
If you take it, you're golden. But if the opportunity doesn't come, it never comes, then what do you do? And then you can end up stagnating, perhaps like Will Keane has, perhaps like we've seen other players, and then you get to maybe like the likes of Wes Brown and John O'Shea, where you've maybe not played enough football and you're 28, 29 years of age. Now you've got to go out and find out and make a career for yourself, when if you'd perhaps maybe moved at 17, 18, look at Danny Drinkwater. Danny Drinkwater left United fairly early. Now he's a Premier League winner. And I think if it's a gamble to leave, it's a gamble to stay. No one can tell you what the right thing to do is, but you've got to get football. If you're going to get football at United, then of course stay. If you're not, then I think you should probably move on. And I don't want to see good players leave United, but these are top lads. These are lads that they're just top lads, and you just want to see top lads have a career in the game, and they're not going to get a career in the game. Speaking of which, we spoke to Academy Director Nicky Butt. I mentioned it earlier. There's 2 parts on YouTube, so go check it out. It's a really right now. Go and check
we're going to show it. No, we're going to show it to you.
We're going to show it right now. Oh.
It's all right. It's all right.
We're going to show it right now.
We're going to show it.
There's 2 parts, so check this out. This is Nicky Butt talking about Manchester United and his new role as Academy Director. Check it out.
No, I think it's a bizarre statement really to say that Man United's system's failing when you're getting people like Rashford through and Tim Mensah through, and you know we keep getting players through. And if you look at the team that won the Premier League, Leicester is 4 in that squad that come through the academy as well. So we maybe it's our fault. We're a bit humble when we bring players through. Maybe we should sing and shout about how good we are when we bring people like Marcus through, who's now an full international, 18 years of age. But it's not something we do at the club. We like to think we're quite humble, and we let the players do the talking on the pitch, and whatever City do or any other team in the country doesn't really interest us. We're quite comfortable in what we do at our club, quite comfortable in how we get players through, and we're quite comfortable with the pathway we give them to the first team, which, you know, on productivity, there's no one does more for the players and gets more players through than us, so we're quite happy with that, and a lot of people say what they want. Yeah, we've got quite a few actually, probably about 5 or 6 that we're really excited about at the minute. But I really don't want to be naming names because it's unfair on them at young boys. The pressure is coming at Man United at 16, 17 and trying to be a professional footballer there is massive. So if someone like myself start saying he's going to be the next this or the next that, I don't think it's the right thing to do. But there's definitely a group of 4 or 5 or 6 players that will become first team players over the course of 3 or 4 years, and that's a fact, and that'll happen. And could be that confident with the talent that we have there. We brought 2 in from abroad in the last last 6 weeks, and they're very exciting players. We've also got some already in the system that have been there since 7 years of age, so we'll keep producing players, and I don't really think it's worth putting any more pressure on them than they got already, really. Yeah, seeing players make a living out of football, it's a very difficult career path to take, you know, to get to the first team, because imagine how many boys out there want to play for Man United, or Chelsea, or Liverpool, or Arsenal, or City, or whatever it may be, and only a small percentage make it. Yeah, the ultimate goal is to get them to our first team, and even more than that, international player, which we've done, you know, this last season with Marcus, and obviously with Tim and Cameron Borthwick Jackson, and 1 or 2 others coming through now. That's the ultimate goal. But when you see players go on, and the likes of Danny Drinkwater and Danny Simpson leaving our club and going and being Premier League winners, that's massive for us, because there's truth is, when you speak to parents, you can tell them all that they're going to be Man United players who we're going to make into international players, but the truth is only probably 0.5% of the kids make it. But you can actually tell them that we've got over 50 players that have come through our youth system that are still playing the Football League and the Championship and Premiership now. And that's as big of a sell pitch than as playing for Man United. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, but if we can get careers and a lifestyle that everybody else would die to have, then that's a proud part of us as well. Pogba's now is probably one of the most sought after player in the world. He's got everything he needs to be a world-class midfielder. He's got size, he's got power, he's got ability, he's athletic, he can pass the ball, he can score goals, tackle. I mean, he ticks all the boxes really. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a dominant force. Whether he stays at Juve, whether he goes to Man United, whether he goes to any other club in the world, he's going to be a dominant force. He's that kind of player. If he comes to Man United, it'll strengthen our team, it'll strengthen our chances of winning something. And any top player that plays at Old Trafford every week, it's a stage for them to go and express themselves and become one of the best in the world. And if that happens, great. But wherever he's going to be, Paul, knowing him and the character he is and the way he was in our youth setup, he's going to be one of the best midfielders, well, if not the best midfielder around in the next 4, 5, 6 years. So, for the next 4, 5, 6 years. So, like I said, wherever he goes, he's going to be a dominant force. No.
Oh my God.
And we are back. Nicky Butt. Thanks to Dream Team for helping us sort that out with Nicky Butt and Sam. Although Sam's not in shot, he's hiding. I don't know what all that was about. I'm excited for Nicky Butt being there. I think he speaks very well. It's good to hear from him. He answered all the sort of questions that you not necessarily. And I can't understand why he was there either as well, because it's not like he needs the work.
No.
You know, this is a thing that a lot of ex-players do, but not current academy directors don't need to do that sort of thing. He was there. He was there on Tuesday night as well with Scholesy and Giggs and Gary Neville as well, getting absolutely mobbed, the four of them, as you can imagine. I think it's fantastic. You go to Salford, you stand next to Webby. Webby's got his own little hill, and I think he allows the class of '92 lads to stand next to him.
Oh.
Galatasaray having another shot there. We are at 30-odd minutes on ours.
33.
33 minutes gone on ours. How close was this from Schneider? Oh, tipped over.
Great save.
I wonder if we'll be linked with him. There's not a transfer window goes by. I think even once he's retired, they'll be linking Schneider to us. Let's go into the comments. Lads and lasses, tell us who your man of the match has been so far in the comments. Anything that you want to know, anything that you want us to answer, and we'll do it.
Galatasaray have a corner, which they won quite well actually. It was a good play up to that point. And, David De Gea's got it away.
Not a lot of love for Rooney in the comments at the moment. Not a lot of love for Rooney. People saying we've got to drop him. I've not seen the link-up play that I was expecting from him so far, in all honesty. But he's adapting to at least 2 new players around him.
Yeah, he has been quite missing in this game though. There's been no point when I thought, that was great from Rooney. And whereas the new guys have settled in quite well, Mkhitaryan and both Zlatan.
I think Zlatan's going to occupy a lot of the positions that you would expect Rooney to occupy as a number 10.
Yeah.
It's just whether Rooney can then get beyond him and be an option ahead of him. That's going to take a while for them to sync up with each other, I think.
And as they're both aging, they're both lacking in the same areas. Like, as they both lose pace, you need different people around them, like Martial when he cuts in. He brings a lot to the side.
Our midfield is not aggressive enough. Schneiderlin, who puts the pressure on, stick Mensah in there and we should be fine. Pogba in front, that would be one midfield. I agree, I would want to see us go to that 3-man midfield. I think is where United would really dominate, especially with the likes of Pogba and Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin does a fantastic job, a real underrated job for me. I didn't get a lot of the stick. I mean, the stats alone showing you that our win percentage with him and our win percentage without him, that's enough to keep him in the team for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like a lot of people don't really realise how much he brings to our team. Schneiderlin is great in midfield. He brings a lot.
Harry King 03, who's an Arsenal fan, says everyone who supports United are glory hunters. But I thought United are an ex-great club, so which is it, Arsenal fans? Make your mind up. Defenders, shite, says Malvinho. That's insightful, thank you.
That looked way offside. And
we need to be aggressive in midfield, says Sally. I agree. I think midfield aggression, I think that's something that Pogba definitely brings. The guy's an absolute athlete, isn't he? He's huge. What do I think of the loan deals we've made over the past years for our youngsters? I think we've been seeing negative results for a lot of players, including Blackett, Wilson, Januzaj, Enrique and Yanko. I think Yanko went on a permanent deal. Don't think that was a loan. Enrique, I agree. I had big hopes for him. Didn't materialise. Januzaj didn't work out at Dortmund. Wilson, I disagree with. Just because he didn't score a lot of goals, the Brighton manager said he was fantastic and he was delighted with his contribution to the team. So let's not just look at the stats of what Wilson did there. Blackett, torrid time at Celtic. Absolute torrid time. I can imagine you'd be pulling your hair out. You go to Scotland, it's Conference North level, you're expecting to play week in, week out. You play, 5 games? Yeah, I can imagine he's devastated with that. Any more questions from the comments? 8-2. Yeah, I think that's in reply to the lad from Arsenal. Rooney needs to step up or risk being dropped, says TJ12. I think you're correct there, mate, because there are options. You could play Memphis as a second striker there, I think. You could play Mkhitaryan centrally. You could play Mata centrally. There are options, and if Wayne Rooney is pulling the team backwards, I hope Mourinho has got the balls to drop him, because I don't think Louis van Gaal did with his captain's privileges and things like that. What do you reckon?
Well, I feel like there's actually, as you said, there's not that much love for Rooney left, especially, and then even after the Euros, it just brought him down further. I don't think there would be actually that much pressure to keep Rooney around on Mourinho. I feel like if he wants to drop him, a lot of people would happily concur with that.
I think so. I think he's at risk. 37 minutes gone in the game. 8 minutes or so left in this half. This is Rachel, everybody. Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
Rachel, do you want to tell everyone
So
why you're here? Who are you? And what you're doing?
I just stumbled into a studio and someone pointed a No. I actually was subscribed to the Football Republic and I Skyped in on the Poland-Portugal game. I actually backed Poland in that game. They didn't win it. It was really sad. But on the plus side, I got accepted on Skype. I got to have a little chat, I sang Rashford's praises, did my bit for Manchester United. And then, it went really well. I Skyped in again because, you've got to be persistent. And then I got scouted and they said, why are you going full-time Devils? If all you want to talk about is Rashford or Manchester United, why are you going to do that on a Manchester United channel? So call in and, we're looking at doing more of these across the season. So maybe you'll have a shot to come in and film one.
See, there you go. If you can come on Skype and not talk a load of shite, then maybe you can be sat next to me one day. You lucky people.
That's the only restriction. You just got to say good things.
Right, any more comments? Do you want to just dig out a couple of comments while
Oh my God, I've been trusted with the tablet. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? There's a lot of emojis in the comments. I've never been an emoji user. No, there's not a lot of love for Rooney in here. A lot of people trying to get in on Skype. I think we're trying to sort that out now. Good old
in the back,
Chris.
In the back.
Someone says they prefer Martial as a striker and Memphis on the wing. What do you think about playing Martial in number 10 role?
Not as a number 10, no. I would have him leading the line. As I said earlier, on the back of the last defender, looking for gaps, looking for balls through. I could see that working, definitely. I could see...
Would you play 2 up front?
I'd love 2 up front. I would be banging that drum for 2 up front. I would absolutely be delighted if
Ibrahimovic and Martial. 2 very different players, bring 2 very different things.
Stream's dead.
Well, great. So who knows? Maybe we've scored 2 goals.
Is it 4-1?
I mean...
Is it already 4-1? Is it half-time?
Pre-season, anything can happen. In the ICC. Our producer's just fixing it for us now.
Do I think Depay's...
Well, it looks like people are cheering.
Oh my God, they actually have scored. Typical.
Oh, watch your replay now.
Bay gets dragged
3-4.
over, and who's that dives in at the end? Is that Rooney? Why is Rooney in the box? I don't think it was Rooney.
He's trying to defend.
Bay gets sucked in. I can't see who it is. I'm assuming it's Blind actually, but no one blocks the shot.
Yeah, it's Blind.
It's right in the corner. Good goal.
Nothing
2-1
David DG could
Galatasaray.
do.
Maybe we will get linked if Rooney's not having a great game, and number 10 could be Schneider. Maybe people are thinking that's an option. I'm sure the Metro's already writing that up as we speak.
I can't. We're losing again. That's great.
The thing is, it's pre-season. We was phenomenal in pre-season for 2 seasons under Van Gaal. It doesn't carry over. Don't treat pre-season with any sort of credence. It's nice to win, of course, but it doesn't matter.
It matters more that we're playing well. Martial's having a really good game.
Yeah. These things that you can fix, these things that you can work on. If you're learning, do you know what? I would prefer to have a tough pre-season where you learn a lot of lessons about what's happening in the team than you just steamroll teams that are too easy for you. What are you going to learn from that? Pre-season is training with a crowd. You need to be tested in training. That's why you have it. That was poor from Herrera there. Just give it straight back to Galatasaray.
Yeah, one of the comments that was read out last week was it's good that our defence has been tested. It was tested so thoroughly by Dortmund because it shows Jose Mourinho like where we really need to fix up and change.
If anyone wants to get involved, call us up on the Skype at FT Devils, and we will talk to you if you're not completely mental.
I mean, we don't do any tests before you go and screen, so who knows? Maybe you'll get through anyway.
And maybe if you are mental, we'll all laugh at you. How's that?
I mean, we'll all have a good time. You know, cheer us up from the 2-1 down that we're currently dealing with.
Would I have liked to keep Wilfred Zaha, says Harry Matthews. You know what? Yes, I would. In fact, I would have taken him to the Euros because he offers something absolutely completely different. We took one winger for England for the Euros, and he was garbage. Wilfred Zaha is fearless. And maybe he's not the most technical player in the world. Maybe he's not as good as Neymar. But you know what? Better than James Milner.
Yeah.
Better than Jordan Henderson.
Oh, he's definitely better than Jordan Henderson.
I'd have took him. I hope Big Sam does that. I hope he goes, you know what, let's go for it. Because English football is aggressive and it's attacking. If you want to get the best out of an England team, then you need to be aggressive and you need to be attacking. And I hope that Big Sam goes for that. I hope he doesn't 4-5-1 it and think that we're going to play like Italy and like contain everyone defensively. I hope that's what he does.
No.
So yeah, for me, Wilfred Zaha didn't really get a good run in. And I think all those rumours of him and Moyes' daughter was just bullshit, to be honest. I don't buy that for a second.
I think Big Sam's wanted the England job for long enough now that he'll just do it his own way. I don't think he's going to risk it or bend to other people. Well, that's what we hope. We hope he'll have a man with a plan and he'll win us the World Cup. Easy. Easy.
Rachel said it there.
Yeah, called it first.
Oh, let's test something out as well. If you hit like on this video, no blag whatsoever, then you will get a full-time Devils mug in your hand as soon as you click like. Try it. See if it works.
As soon as you hit
As soon as you click like, a full-time Devils mug will appear in your hand. Click like on a video and find out.
I mean, I'm so excited by that. I wish I could like the video, but I'm slightly busy right now.
Anything in the comments? Anyone got anything to say? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of foreign language stuff in here. Why does Memphis keep his number 7 shirt? Does Mourinho have faith in him? Yeah, I guess he does. And don't play too much credence into the shirt number thing. It doesn't matter, does it? It's a shirt number. If he wears 77 or 777, who cares?
You can't do that. Jose Mourinho doesn't like numbers over 40. That's the rumour.
Joe Pursglove says he clicked like and he got a mug in his hand. There you go. See, told you I wasn't lying. I think. Hello, how are you? What's your name and where you from?
Hey, I'm good. My name's Clint. I'm from the United States.
Hello, Clint.
Clint is such an American name.
You turn me down a little bit, please, Chris.
It is.
It's good that you're living up for your country. What do
Whereabouts
you...
in the States are you, mate? That's a big country.
Say it again?
Whereabouts in the States are you? You can't just huge. Whereabouts?
I'm from the central part. I'm from Kentucky.
Oh, from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a big basketball state. We don't really watch a whole lot of soccer here.
I like your chicken.
What have you thought of the game so far?
Yeah.
Are you even watching the game? Are you just watching us?
No, I'm watching the game too.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm watching the game. It's tough to tell, really. It's kind of been a tough 45. I think the first 3 minutes obviously were great. Zlatan's goal was awesome, but don't think there was much to give after that. Galatasaray is really kind of sticking it to us. So
I think we've played well. I think when we've broke with purpose. I think we've broke with speed. I thought we've got through the thirds real quickly. I thought defensively we've obviously been lacking, and I think that's the sort of organisational thing that maybe does take a little bit longer than just a couple of weeks in pre-season to get through to. Who's excited you so far? Who do you think's been our best player?
yeah, I think so. I think that defensive partnership with Bailly and Blend is starting to kind of build up a little bit, and they're just kind of going through the growing pains of it. I think once that builds up, and maybe once Smalling gets back, I think is he injured right now?
Supposedly, yeah.
That's what we hope.
Yeah, definitely. I think once he gets back, I think the partnership will look a little better. So,
all right, Clint, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll speak to you again throughout the season. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I think
Thanks. Have a good one.
See you later.
I think it's a good point on the defensive partnership. I think that's the part of our team at the moment that I look at that looks the most unstable. And maybe that's because it probably won't be our starting partnership.
Possibly. And also you got to think, David De Gea's not played with these guys.
Yeah.
Blinds has tapped into a new partner. You've got Valencia, who we said that he can do a job, but he isn't a fullback. You've got a lot of things that you're banking on happening, and I don't know how far ahead in their preparations Galatasaray are. There's a lot of things to come to light, and as I said at the start of the game, you don't know how often or how hard people have been training. Even this morning, you don't know if they're trying to work on certain things that can affect how you play in pre-season. And again, it's pre-season. I would rather be tested and put through our paces and learn some lessons in pre-season than knock people aside 5-0 and not be tested and not know what to do when we're under pressure. So
Yeah.
we was phenomenal under Louis van Gaal in pre-season. How about relax? It means nothing when you go into the
Well,
season.
they've forgotten about all this when we win the league. Easy. But no, they're not a bad team, Galatasaray. Like, they're not the most known team in the world, but they do really well in their own league, the Turkish league.
Sheepy Sauce says, that half showed me what I was always concerned about. Well, Herrera may be good box to box. He's not good defensive midfielder. Defensively is really poor. Now, I agree on that. That's why I want to see a three-man midfield. That's what I think. The three-man midfield protects each other. And I think Herrera, you can be quite aggressive on that going forward. I think Pogba would definitely do a box to box. I think Pogba is definitely more defensively minded than Herrera. I think Herrera gets things going a little bit quicker with the ball at his feet. But then I think there's a place for a Schneidlin or a Carrick sitting defensively, protecting that back four.
You haven't mentioned Schweinsteiger today. What do you think of him?
I think he's probably going, and I'm sick about that in all honesty, because there's not a lot of experience in the team. We lack experience at Manchester United at the moment. And what you're going to get as a transfer fee for him? Nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get absolutely nothing in terms of a transfer fee for him. All right, he's on quite a lot in terms of wages, but in the grand scheme of things, is it that much? Really? It's not, is it? Keep the guy on. Allow him to be in part of the dressing room, because I think, especially if you go to a three-man midfield, because he doesn't have the pace, you can make up for the pace by playing others around him. A midfield of Pogba, Schweinsteiger and Schneidlin. Come on. Schweinsteiger and
everything.
Schneidlin was our best midfield pairing last year.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't play enough. Okay, we got another Skype caller. Let's hope they're not a mental. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello?
Is there anybody there?
Technology, eh? Repels.
If you're not here, put your hand up. Let's go to comments. Let's see if anyone's talking in the comments while we wait for the Skype guy to get fixed. Did LVG ruin Memphis? No, I don't think he did.
He just didn't help him.
Yeah. Do I think United's future with Shaw, De Gea, Marshall, potentially Pogba, Rashford? What do I think about it? Who do I reckon is United's future? Oh, who do I reckon is United's future? All of the above. All of the above. That's what's exciting about Manchester United at the moment. Is you've got Marshall, you've got Memphis, you've got Rashford, you've got 23-year-old Paul Pogba, hopefully in the next couple of days. You've got David De Gea, you've got Luke Shaw, you've got a lot of Fosu Mensah, and all of the lads that are coming through the academy as well. In 5 years' time, everybody's going to know about Angel Gomez. He's going to be 20 years old and rassing it up. So I am excited for the future. I don't think Mourinho will be here.
No.
Mourinho will probably have moved on by then. The question is, who do you get then? And for me at the moment, the only people I want to see in the mixer is, as it stands, somebody like Ancelotti, somebody perhaps like Diego Simeone, but who knows? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might be back in the mix by then. Somebody else might be in the mix by then.
God knows.
I think if you're the United board at the moment, the day you appoint Mourinho, you start looking for his replacement, because there is a ticking clock with Mourinho, and it'd be silly not to expect that he would be moving on at some point. The MUTV presenters are getting absolutely caked here by the pitch side watering. Bojan Djordjic and Jasper Blomqvist getting soaked by the pitch watering. Unlucky lads.
They've had to cut to analysis because the camera was covered in water.
Comments. Has anybody got it? They literally passed it around the defence for 10 minutes, then played a 1-2 and scored. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It does happen. That is real life FIFA, isn't it? You dominate, and then someone scores a fluky goal on you, and you smash a controller, pull the game out the wall, and walk off. Or at least I do anyway when I lose.
I don't play FIFA. I think that leaves me really underprepared for actual football.
Hello, we got somebody on Skype. I've just heard somebody in my ear.
Hey.
Hello. Hello. I've got 2 people on Skype. It's all gone mental.
Oh,
If you can hear me, say hello.
Our producer is looking very stressed.
Hello.
Christian?
We'll go to the comments. Let's see what we got. Do you think there's going to be any replacements at half-time?
No, I don't think he wants to lose this match. So I think he's going to maybe give it another 15, 20 minutes.
I'm going to be completely opposite. I'm going to say at half-time I expect 2 or 3 changes at least.
He's just going to pack it in.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to pack it in. I think he's got minutes to get for players. It's preparation, isn't it? The game means nothing. You need players with minutes under their belt. I think he's going to give players minutes.
Who are you expecting to be
Let's have a look
swapped?
who's on the bench? Because I don't know off the top of my head. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, what's your name, mate? Where are you from? Oh, Argentina. I wish we was on TFR. We could scratch Argentina off. That's definitely the first Argentinian we would call.
I was there in the. What? Sorry.
What made you support United being all the way from Argentina? Was it Veron?
I have my first United shirt in. I don't remember. I think on the Bayern Munich final.
Oh, 1999.
Champions League.
I imagine
Yes,
that
yes,
to a lot
I
of
think
people,
that's-
to Manchester United fans, that comeback, that whole season, that whole attitude. What you want to talk about, mate? What you here for?
I really think that Mourinho needs to change Rooney, man.
I think you're not on your own in that. Looking at the comments on this stream, I think a lot of people would agree with you on that one.
A big lack of love for Rooney
It's-
here.
I really think that Rooney. I really think that Rooney needs to get sold. He not deserves break the Bobby Charlton record.
You're going to send a lot of people crazy with that comment. Anyway, thank you for joining us, mate. All the way from Argentina. We'll see you soon, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
So Rooney, he wants Rooney off. A lot of comments want Rooney off as well.
Who are
Looking
they
at the
replacing
bench,
him with?
You've got Fellaini.
Okay.
You've got Lingard, you've got
Great.
Mata, you've got Rashford. Maybe Rashford is last man in behind and stretch the defence a little bit.
I think
Very attacking lineup.
Jose will know what he wants to do. He'll have discussed this because if he'd be willing to put Rashford on and play Zlatan in behind, that's obviously something they'll have been over before in training. But I don't know if I see that happening. I feel like I see Mata coming on. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
a big
think
fan of
Mourinho's,
Lingard.
Prepared enough that he will have a full plan in his mind, that he would know what, no matter what happens in the game, at this point this is happening at this point, and then he would off the cuff it for any injuries or anything obvious. I think, but yeah, he's probably already decided before the game started that something was going to change, unless somebody looks like they're lagging. And maybe that's Rooney, and I wouldn't actually be disappointed to see Lingard come on as a number 10. Lingard can play that number 10 role quite well. He's another player that runs with the ball, and I think having a 3 behind Zlatan, all running with the ball, Zlatan coming back in the lines, making space for them to run with it, that'd be interesting to see, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lingard. I hope he manages to hold a place this year at United, but I don't know if he's going to be able to break through into the first team and stay there.
The thing is, you don't always need to be a first-team player to be a footballer. There's 25 players in the squad, 24 Mourinho wants in his squad. You don't need 10, 11, 13, 18 world-class players. That doesn't work. We've seen the Galactico eras at Real Madrid, never really been successful for the names that they've had under those teams. They've never really done anything massive on the international stages. It doesn't work having all those egos. You need a blend of players, and for me, Lingard is the perfect guy to come off the bench, to freshen it up, to maybe get 10, 15 starts a season. He's not going to be first choice. He's not going to be in the Ballon d'Or rankings. But what a player. That's the sort of honest grafter that you need coming in the squad every now and then.
I think he's the kind of player as well who'd be it would be okay with that. He'd settle in to not be always starting.
Oh,
He
sure
seems
is.
so
He's
happy
a
at United.
fan. He comes from a family of United fans. Like, we've seen his dad at the derby, and his dad was buzzing, and you think, that's what it's all about, isn't it? How happy is Jesse Lingard's dad when he's watching his lad playing for him? The guy's in the stands. He's not hobnobbing it in a box or anything like that. He's just a fan, and his lad ends up playing for him. That's what it's about for me. And Jesse Lingard, did you think he cares that he wasn't in the FIFA Pro 11? No. Do you think he's bothered? No, he's playing.
He
for
scored
Manchester
the
United.
FA Cup
Yeah,
winning
just won
goal.
the FA Cup for us 2
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah, no, I think United fans like Jesse Lingard, and I think Jesse Lingard's happy with his position at United.
I'm sure he is.
Oh, there's that goal again. Beautiful's that line. Oh, went downhill from there, didn't it?
Yeah.
There was one great save by David De Gea that they actually did show before. Just absolutely swiped it away from the line, sent it out for a throw-in, I think. He's strong, David De Gea. It's good. He's a very good keeper. He's a very good all-rounder.
Jesse is the future, says Josh Williams. Well, do you know what? He's a player that I would absolutely, definitely keep around.
Yeah.
We need an experienced centre-back, says Rajiv. Yeah, that's one thing I've been calling out for all summer. I thought there's a hell of a lot of potential all over the pitch, and I think you need a real nutcase at centre-half, like a real old head at centre-half. I think that works.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking, especially ones who have tracked the youth and know that we have got centre-halves coming through, would think, why would we buy Bailey, who obviously needs to be brought through and helped and developed, when we could...
Shock for me, that.
Why, if we were going to buy a centre-half, why wouldn't we have someone experienced and then bring our own players through? But Jose knows what Jose wants.
I'm sure he does. And like we said, like he was out scouting Dortmund games in February, so pretty sure that was Mkhitaryan being scouted. We don't know how much other scouting's gone on. We don't know what's going to happen with the likes of Lozano or Jesus. Those are lads that could come in. This also could be transfers that we're setting up for next season, because you'd be amazed how much talk and negotiation goes on pre-planning transfers that are going to happen next year and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, who knows when the Pogba debacle started?
We need Cameron Henderson. What?
I'm not even sure who Cameron Henderson is. Oh, there's Blind on MUTV.
No, I think so. People, yeah, we could use someone like Godin, says Nick Coelho. I think so.
For a long time, I really thought that Blind looked just like Juan Mata, just with a bit longer hair and a beard. I still think that.
I'm not seeing that. I can't agree on that.
Okay, well, I've analysed it, and you
Change
can trust me.
formation says civil engineering.
Change it to what, though?
I want to see 4-3-3. Hello to everybody on Instagram. Producer Chris just said, say hi to everybody on Instagram. Hello, Instagram.
We've obviously peaks on Instagram right now. We're obviously doing great on Instagram. I don't even have Instagram.
More broad on a little wide formation. I think that's where something like a 4-3-3 comes in, honestly. I think you pack the midfield out a little bit better. You don't really lose anything from behind the striker. That's what I'd like to see. We don't have a proper midfielder who could drive forward and hold up play, killer passes. Maybe that's what Paul Pogba's going to do. I think Paul Pogba is that good that he would transform even a fairly average side into a decent side.
I'll be upset if Paul Pogba doesn't come, not only because he won't be in our team, but because we've wasted so much time talking about it. Like,
that's it.
He's really dominated Manchester United talk for a long time now.
We need Akin Fenwa, says King J1. Do you know what? I'd sign Akin Fenwa just for the bants.
Just for the bants.
Just for the bants.
It's a bit fun. Something to smell about.
We should have got Benasha on loan. Juventus don't even need him. Maybe. Well, no. I think we're all right in that sort of position, in all honesty. Memphis come on and score a double. What's happened with the Manolas link to us, says Kamal? Actually, don't know, mate. I don't know if that was just a paper blag, in all honesty. I think it's quite easy sometimes to spot what's actually realistic and what's not in the newspapers. Pogba should be 10 or 15. I don't care. Give him number 6.
I don't care. Yeah, he can have number 6 and he can play in a number 10 role if he wants to.
Michael Ade says Pogba will flop. Son, I've no words. How's Pogba going to flop? The guy was ridiculous at 18 years of age. 4 years later, he's coming back as one of the most promising midfielders in the world. The guy's enormous. The guy's rassed it up all over Europe. People can even say he had a poor Euros. I don't think he had a poor Euros. I thought he did well in the position that he played, but he wasn't able to express himself because of the constraints of the position that he was in. I still thought he played excellent. I thought he had a decent game in the final. Statistically, he was fantastic in the final. Almost flawless.
Yeah.
He just wasn't running. Oh, I've just got somebody over there. Do we have a Skype caller?
Chris is saying yes.
What's your name, mate? Where are you from? Hello, where are you from? What's your name, mate?
My name is Thomas Kufalotis. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow, I like how correct you came with that. I hope you got your feet together when you talk to me, son. Love it. Anyway, what are you here to talk about, mate?
Sure. I mean, I'm just here to talk about everything with you guys, man. Manchester United, that's what we're here for, right?
Have you been watching the match today?
A little bit, yes, sir. Zlatan's goal, phenomenal, mate. Phenomenal.
Do you know what? The finish was poor. It looked like it come off his instep, but the build-up play from that...
Sure, definitely. The build-up play, that's what we've been waiting for. Instead of this Louis Van Gaal pass around the box, not do anything. We needed that build-up. That's what we needed, sir.
My producer's just asked me to ask you, who is in the background? We can't see you, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what he's talking about.
My bad, sir. That was my mom. My fault, sir.
It was his
Here
mum.
comes my brother in a Chelsea jersey.
Is your mum a United fan?
No, she don't really watch soccer. My brother does. He's a Chelsea fan. Right here, right behind me.
Did we beat that guy up?
Chelsea are the most hated team in the world.
I saw that.
They beat us
They
Yeah.
quite a lot.
They also sell more shirts
Yeah.
than we do as well. All right, nice to speak to you, man. Sure, mate. Are you still there? Oh, he's gone.
Oh, producer Chris, brutal.
Oh, Chris the cut.
He was done with that.
Damn, he had a question. Ask your question into the chat on Skype and we'll get Chris to read it out to us as penance.
Definitely. Chelsea might sell more shirts than us, but I don't know. I heard somewhere that we sold £76 million worth of shirts recently.
Yeah, can we just address that? Because that is complete and utter bullshit. Can we just get that out?
There isn't much
straight
belief
away?
for that in the room. Is that
£76 million of shirts equates to about 1.3, 1.4 million pounds worth of actual shirt sales. Sorry, no, 1.3, 1.4 million pounds of
million shirt
shirts.
sales?
Christ, get my words out. We sell around about 3 million shirts a year. Now, considering that the home kit only came out on Saturday, the away kit's not, the white kit's not even been released yet. The blue kit's only just been out a couple of weeks or so. There's no way that in a week that we sold 1.4 million Zlatan shirts when we only sell around about just under 3 million shirts in total for a season. And the fact that they would all be Zlatan shirts, I'm sorry, he's never sold that many at any other club ever before. So to think that he would do that right now, not buying that. I am not buying that whatsoever. And in honesty, I think he's probably only going to sell about 20% of our shirts anyway. There's going to be people buying Shaw shirts. People are holding out, I know for a fact, because Jadinho's holding out for a Pogba shirt. Rooney's going to be a big seller. Marshall will be a big seller. There'll be a load that still buy Memphis shirts. Mkhitaryan might be a big seller. So to think that you'll sell 1.4 million Zlatan shirts, that means we would have sold like 10 million shirts in total, which is ridiculous.
I feel like Zlatan probably started that rumour himself.
He kind of did. And I think someone just made that graphic up. And then someone was like, well, that's true. Let's just report that. Without thinking. And deal on his own with all those sales just shows a gross misunderstanding of how the Manchester United and Adidas deal works. The reason we get 75 million a year off Adidas, they've essentially paid up front for a set number of shirts. That's what they've done. And if they sell anything over, I think it's 3 million is the figure. We've got substitutions coming on. It looks like Young, Carrick, Rashford, and
Carrick. Good old young Carrick.
So to say that we would have sold that many shirts, the Adidas deal is over and above 3 million shirts, they then pay a license fee to us per shirt. The fact is that we don't really sell over 3 million shirts, so that's why Adidas have sort of paid up front for us. Also, when you take out the manufacturing costs and the costs of what Adidas make and the retailers who sell it, they take a massive cut out of like about 40-50% of every shirt sales. Like you buy it from Sports Direct or something like that, they're taking a huge cut out of whatever they sell. So to say that we would have made 75 million in a week, the sheer volume, we would have sold more shirts than any other football club combined, all with Zlatan's name on. Come on, son, get your facts right. Get your facts right.
And put it out there. I'm just saying. We need
All
you
right,
to
we are
acknowledge
back
it.
out. As I'm not sure who's left the pitch yet. The stream makes it difficult to tell. But hello, we got a caller on Skype. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Peyton. I'm from Maryland, USA.
Peyton from Maryland. How you doing, mate? Well, loads of American callers. Is it only Americans calling us up today?
Yeah, there are a few Americans out here watching the match.
Are you
Pretty
watching
much
the match
we're
today?
frustrated. The defense, it's weak.
Well, this is pre-season though, isn't it? It's only over the last few seasons where pre-seasons took on any massive sort of significance for everybody, where people really take.
I was 4 years old in '99, so.
I know what we did. I know what we did in pre-season 1999 after we won the treble, but that's for another day, maybe after hours. So, what do you think of today's game, mate? Who do you think's been a standout for?
Impressive, and Rooney has been weak on giving the balls to up front. I mean, we've seen the trick, nice crossover Martial did, but Rooney failed to cross it when Mkhitaryan, connection between the players. And I think Rooney should do well on it also. My analysis on the match, on the first half, Jose Mourinho, for this match, should put on Juan Mata on the number 10. Maybe put on Juan and put Mkhitaryan on the number 10. Maybe we can see some change.
Yeah, I think a lot of our commenters, and I think me and Rachel will probably agree with that.
Yeah, that's a really good one. This is horrible. I forgot about Young, but yeah, no, I like the idea of putting Young out there and bringing Mkhitaryan to the central area. I think most people. I'm a big Rooney fan, but even I'm a little bit like your type.
I think there's a few players that I would almost call hangover from Sir Alex's days. We have had a big clear out of the club, and I'm looking at like Carrick, De Gea, Smalling, Young, and Rooney is essentially it. That's all that's and Young is all that's left, and Young's just broke through, but he's offside. From Sir Alex Ferguson days. Now I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, if they stay or if they go. But I think we've gone through such a transformation in the club that maybe it's good to keep some of these around, just as squad players, remembering what it was like when we was victorious all the time, remembering what it's like to win a league. I think that sort of experience is probably very helpful in the squad, don't you think?
Yeah, I think some of the players who used to play for Ferguson are still functional and are still essential for the win mentality. Just like Wayne Rooney said, Jose Mourinho is overdue showing.
I think so. We're attacking again with purpose this half, I think, aren't we?
De Gea, Small. Yeah, De Gea. Ashley Young could help Jose Mourinho on improving their squad, restore or revive it. And but Senegal signed. They get tired easily and little time. Yeah. I think Jose has worked on that. Like it might take him some weeks to work on that, but I think some of the players like Smalling and especially Wayne Rooney could be a major asset on this, and I think some players will help.
I agree. Right, thanks for your call, mate. Cheers. We'll speak to you again in the season, hopefully.
Win that call.
Thank you.
We had Rashford break through, but I think he took too many touches. I think he should have had a little bit more confidence, gone through it for the first time.
Yeah, maybe knock it into space and get after it, because let's face it, not many are going to beat him for pace, are they? Our stream's really crapping out on us a little bit.
But yeah, our attackers have changed now. We've got Young, then Rooney, Lingard and Rashford at the front. So the only one who's managed to hold on for the second half is Rooney, which is the one a lot of people...
It's the one everyone wants to see change. Maybe he's giving him more game time. Maybe Mourinho thinks that he's lacking game time and sharpness, and that's why he's left him on.
Rooney's got more to prove.
Yeah, or that he just literally needs more minutes to improve his level, to get to the level of everyone else. Josh Williams in the comments just saying, Ashley Young can't cross. Been saying that for years, mate. We're getting ruined for it. He can't cross. He puts crosses in all the time, and then people say, oh, he put the crosses in, it's up to the strikers to get on the end of them. You don't hear people saying that about players who can cross, though, do you? Our main
man, Wayne Rooney's got a yellow card. Swiping at someone's feet from behind.
Let's have a look at the comments.
That's always fun.
Will Memphis play in this match? I'm not even sure. He's not there. He's not travelled.
He's not travelled?
Well, he's not on this list here. I'm not sure he's there, actually. So if he's not travelled, then no, I don't think he will.
I doubt it.
That's a long commute from Manchester to Stockholm, I think, is it, where we are for this?
Yeah. So who did Carrick come on for?
I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. I didn't see who went off. By the looks of it, Zlatan's gone off.
Yeah, no, Zlatan's gone off, Mkhitaryan's gone off, and Martial's gone off. So it's Young, Rooney, Lingard, and Rashford.
So who's Fellaini come on for?
I don't know, I assume... Well, that must...
It's one of the two, isn't it?
It must be both midfielders have gone then for Carrick and Fellaini.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
That was a lot of substitutions. I didn't realise that many people went off.
Young's had 3 crosses so far and hit the keeper every time.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, getting the practice in.
Consistent. So I think we look a little bit more ragged now. I think we've lost the composure that we had in that first half a little bit by the substitutions have probably kicked that on, in all honesty.
Fellaini's smiling there. It's like he just beats somebody up. Like he just pushes someone to the floor and then he has a little laugh about it.
He's there sat on the bench, says Lee Fraser. Well, there you go. Maybe he will. I didn't know that. The official United Twitter account has only listed like 6 or 7 players. Memphis isn't one of those that's listed, so I can't tell from our stream. It's difficult to see faces at the moment. We can only basically see the patterns of shape. I thought Marshall scored the first goal for about 2 minutes, let alone Zlatan putting it away.
See, I got Zlatan. His ponytail really did define him.
Am I worried, says Ollie D.
It's too early to be
No,
worried.
it's pre-season. Like, I would rather us be put under a lot of pressure in games like this. Sorry, some strength there, Bailey. I would rather us be put under pressure in games like this. Let's not even the Charity Shield against Leicester. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that. Obviously, it's a day out at Wembley. I want to win it. We're travelling all that way. I don't want to see us get turned over. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If we win the Charity Shield but don't win the league, I'm not going to be like, remember that season we won the Charity Shield? How cool was that?
That was David Moyes' season.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, so you know how that ends, don't you? So, no, the Charity Shield doesn't matter. The day out at Wembley doesn't matter. What matters is how you perform over 38 games in the Premier League. If we perform there, then I'm happy. We've looked good going forward, first half at least, in this match. Defensively, we've not looked good forward. There's things to take out of that. Yes, we've been positive. There's some positive things, movement. The chemistry will develop in terms of attacking. The chemistry will also develop in terms of defending. It's all going to come in. Let's get in the comments. Let's see if there's anyone in the comments for us. Worst pre-season prep this year other than transfers. Do you know what? Yeah, I would agree on that. The City game being cancelled, we couldn't really help. But I thought it was mad to go to China for 2 matches anyway. Like, the travelling part, the flying part, even if you fly in first class, is what takes it out of you. Because it's not just the flight, it's the getting messed around at customs, it's waiting around for your baggage. And guess what? Premier League footballers still have to do that. Then they've got the drives to and from all the airports, sleeping in different beds. That sort of thing can play into your performance, your recovery, and all the rest of it. And people misunderstand like how much of an effect that can have. Like, oh, they're on 300 grand a week, they can put up with it. Of course they can put up with it. But when you're talking about peak performance where 0.5% makes a difference to China to raise our profile and continue to sell merchandise out there, but there's also the need that we are a football club, and what comes first and what should come first is the football and the performance of the team on the pitch. That was a great move. Who's put that away? Was her? Rooney's put it away, so therefore he will now be man of the match again.
Yeah,
we're going to go to Skype in a second, I think.
Jose doesn't look happy though, so we just scored. Maybe he wasn't rooting for Rooney.
Maybe he
was just like giving him time to fail. Let's watching a replay.
Let's have a look. So, decent movement. Valencia's give and gone.
Oh, that's a good ball.
And he's got a first-time cross in. Rooney's hit it, put it in the opposite corner. Brilliant team goal.
Slightly scruffy, but all we need.
Rashford is the MVP already. Second assist by Valencia today. It's a good point. Yep, 2 crosses from Valencia's put it in. Ashley Young's wasted out. Half a dozen already. Yep. Valencia's like, give it a so already. Rooney scoring his goal doesn't transform the game that he's had. He's looked off the pace. You can't deny that.
That is true. He has looked off the pace today, but I do think he gets too much criticism, and I think it's because people compare him to his former self. I think he was really good at one point.
Hello, we've got a caller on Skype. I just heard someone shout. What's your name? Where are you from, mate?
I'm Adam Britton. I'm from Augusta, Georgia, just south of Atlanta.
Georgia. Another American calling us.
We're doing great in America.
Are we only being shown in America? What is going on, everybody?
Yeah. Football's actually really growing in America quite a bit. Actually, my neck of woods, we're just getting our first team, actually, our first professional team.
Oh, really? What are they called?
It's going to be called Atlanta United. I think our first season is actually this next year.
I appreciate so much that you called it football, not soccer. Like, I think that deserves a lot.
Do you know where the name soccer comes from?
No.
It comes from posh English people.
Oh,
the same that call it rugby, rugger. That's where soccer comes from. Bit of a factoid for you there. It wasn't American.
It's really hard. It really is.
So what do you want
everybody around me wants to call it soccer.
Oh.
I actually had the ideas. Like I was looking at the Paul Pogba deal. I was looking at how much it is. Do you think actually this is going to have a negative effect on the game? Actually, because just from my point of view, It's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars. It's going to drive up the price of just about every other player
Oh, is that a penalty?
around the world.
Sorry, 1 second. Rashford just got taken down by a goalkeeper, but
Is that been given?
we reaction, your emotions, and don't tell us.
There we go. What was striker being on the last man? Rashford has just proven it by getting in behind there. Who's brought him down?
Yeah, he did proud. I hope they bond. Flatland and he's like, but not now.
So we go. I'm sure you've already seen this.
I know it's only pre-season, but like, couldn't Rashford have taken it?
Well, let's face it.
I feel like if you create the goal, you should get the pen.
Especially in pre.
I agree.
There we go. 3-2 United. So as you were saying, mate, before we interrupted you.
On like the mid to smaller teams, because it seems like that's going to drive up, just like basically every other Real Madrid player they've ever signed. It's going to drive up the prices even more and more of like the average to smaller players, to the point where these smaller teams, they can't even really sign players and compete with the bigger teams.
No, I don't think it will. And I think that's the sort of thing that other clubs have to do. Borussia Dortmund traditionally, and even Juventus actually, up until signing Higuain, have gone for very astute, very well-researched transfers. £1 player coming soon. We've gone from 1 million to 100 million in 30 years or so, and now we're looking at potentially $1 billion. But thanks for your call anyway, mate. Another American. Can we get someone American? No offence, but let's spread it around a little bit.
$1 billion footballer, £1 billion, £1 billion euro.
Half of me thinks, it'll level off, but then the other half of me thinks, no, it won't, because it hasn't.
And football's so self-contained, especially with like transfers and stuff, that it can afford to keep getting higher and higher.
If you come out of the football economy and you go into some of the banking economies, there's some bankers get $5-10 billion bonuses. They're making their company a lot of money, and if you apply that sort of logic to football, as long as the football economy keeps growing the way it is, then someone will be able to argue in 10 years' time, that player, the same as people are arguing for Pogba, makes us money. He's going to make us over $1 billion. Pay $1 billion for him. Yeah. I mean, football wages, for starters, is multiple times what the average working person in the UK and around the world earns. So that can't be compared to normal stuff. They're talking about 100 million. Think about 100 million would do. Like, we're not going to say $1 million in our lives, most of us that are watching this game. £100 million for one guy to play for one team instead of another team. Like, it's not real right now. So who's to say that it's not going to get even more not real? I think it can easily continue to grow and get out of control.
I was talking to someone about this the other day, actually. I actually studied economics. I'm all about supply and demand. And I was trying to explain to someone why does a footballer get paid more than like the average government worker? But it's because Paul Pogba will be paid that much because he's literally one in a billion. Yeah, he's literally one in a billion.
Thing.
There's maybe 7 people in the world that can do what Paul Pogba can do, and that is why he gets paid so much.
Soldiers and policemen, footballers' wages. Well, guess what? Actually, there's a lot of people who can be soldiers and can be policemen. And that's the problem. There's only literally one guy that can be Paul Pogba. There's only one Cristiano Ronaldo. There's only one Messi. That's why they get paid fortunes.
The struggle is for Manchester United that these people know that and they demand a lot of money. But Manchester United, they can pay it.
That's it. And for what we've let go out of the door in debt, I have no issue with us paying 100 million, even if it's a player that we've re-signed. Oh, he scored again!
Who was that? No one's...
Is that a Valencia cross again?
I don't know. Oh, look at Fellaini. It's the blonde hair. The blonde hair brings out the best in people. Aaron Ramsey dyed his hair blonde, went to the Euros, had a great time.
Phil Jones proves your theory to be absolute nuts.
I know. Phil Jones just having a rest right now. Fellaini and Valencia just had a little handshake together. I thought it was really nice.
Let's have a look.
I like teammates being friends.
So is it another Valencia cross as you play it out for? It is a third Tony Valencia cross.
That was a great goal.
Tony Valencia, absolute dynamite.
I mean, I'm sure Darmian's not having a great time watching this.
Manchester United should get Ronaldo. They have $2.2 billion US. No, we're worth that. That's not what we have. One microphone just scored.
I don't know how much Fellaini meant to do that and how much it just bounced off him. But right place, right time.
Someone's just saying Valencia, $1 billion.
Easy, easy. We've already found him.
That's a bargain at $1 billion.
We wouldn't give him up.
Valencia is actually a low-key superhero,
Easily.
Someone's just put, literally just took a shit, come back. It's 4-2. It was 2-2 when he left.
Well, that was us. Our stream went down for like 2 minutes in the first half, and we went 2-1 down.
4-2 Manchester United. Probably more I've
Now?
just completely lost the word I wanted to say. What was the word I wanted to say?
I don't know. I'm going to need some context.
The scoreline actually reflects the game. Reflective was the word I was looking for. 4-2 is much more reflective of the game that we're seeing as opposed to when we was losing 2-1. That wasn't the game I was seeing.
Yeah. But I guess this is a good thing about... This is why you need more up front. This is why you need better attacking players, because sometimes you are going to slip up off of a free kick, or like you might score an own goal. Like their first goal was a free kick, and it wasn't badly defended. It just went in, and you need to be able to come back from 2-1 down and win a game. And I think that's what this side's done, obviously.
And the things that we've seen in the first half, we're still seeing shades of that. We look a bit shakier than we did in the first half, but we're still seeing shades of that sort of moving it through the thirds a hell of a lot quicker than we at least saw last season, at least. Stream's gone, produce Chris. So we are at least now being more effective, moving the ball forward, and we look a bit more potent as well.
Yeah, it's easier for us to watch. Like actually having to watch the Dortmund game the other day, like it wasn't the best few hours of my life. Well, this is quite enjoyable.
64 minutes gone, 20 odd minutes left to go. Someone in the comments just said, Jones and Rojo coming on, there goes the lead.
No,
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw the stream the other day, but I have unresolved anger issues towards Rojo. I have zero time for him. Like, I just feel like most goals, when he's on the pitch against us, are probably his fault.
I don't like him as a left back. I do like him as a centre half with a leader next to him. I think he needs a leader alongside him.
Just a bit lost, isn't he? No, I just don't bring Rojo on. Watch this. I'll take Valencia off, and then we'll lose 5-4.
Valencia crossing first time. Like I said, it's 2010 vintage Valencia. This just wasn't what he's doing. I don't know if maybe it was orders under Van Gaal then, because he was not doing that under Van Gaal. He was awful with the ball at his feet. He was tentative. He wasn't putting crosses in. He's put 3 first time. He might have only put 3 crosses in today, actually.
Yeah.
He might have only put 3 crosses in, and we've scored off every single one of them. If I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will. But let me know how many crosses has Valencia put in today. If it's only 3, that's impressive.
I think you're right about Van Gaal, though. I think it's a very good chance that he was told he wasn't allowed to cross so much. Like, I remember when we had just won the FA Cup, it was written somewhere that Lingard actually broke form when he scored that goal because he was told by Van Gaal to never shoot on a first touch. So that already sets the scene for very tentative football under Van Gaal.
What is the score? 4-2, mate, is the score. 4 more changes are about to happen.
4 more.
Is this now? Luke Shaw's had a decent game up and down that left touch line.
I'm happy that he's come back and he seems to be quite fit.
4 more changes.
Oh,
it
look
is
at
Jones,
Rojo.
Rojo. Is that Damian? And Memphis. Why's the game walking over? I didn't see a keeper there.
Deja's like, it's all right, Rojo, you go.
Diggy's
You
like,
go.
"Oh, we're playing rush keeper last 20, let's go, boys."
Oh, no,
There's
no,
been
right
9
at the
and
front.
10 crosses.
Right
Is
at the
that
front,
all from
Romero.
Valencia? Romero's coming on for Big Dave.
Don't let 3 in. Just don't.
Rojo, Damian, Memphis, and Mata as well. Wow, 6 changes is that then?
So Bailey's going off.
Bay for Rojo.
No, Rojo's going off for Shaw.
Is
Damian will be coming on for Valencia.
It's like Cluedo, this. So this Shaw's come off.
Blin's-
Damian's come on. He must have gone in left back.
Well, Blin's come off. So who's going there?
I'm totally lost now. What's going on? There's a right load of United players left the pitch. There's a right load of United players going on the pitch to play some football.
I'm pretty sure when I looked at the squad list, we didn't have 4 centre halves. So I don't know if Bailey and Blin's come off. I don't know who's playing.
Who scored the 4th, says Liam Smith. Big Felly at the back post scored it.
It was great. It looped over the keeper.
Well, Rojo is on. I love the lead, says Adam Britton. Good one, mate. Finally, Rooney off, says Lowdown.
So Rooney's
opinion
off for
on Pogba,
Mata.
blah, blah, blah. Damian's gone left back. Okay, we got 1 down then.
So I think where's Valencia then? Is he still on the pitch? I think he might.
So Rashford looks like he's leading the line. We know that.
I feel like
Mata looks like he's gone to number 10.
I think every single player's been changed now.
Is that Jesse on the right? So I'm assuming that's Memphis over on the left. 23 or so to go, plus whatever injury time we've got. Not usually a lot in friendlies. Do I like Romero? Yeah, he seems all right. Who scored the third? That was a Rooney penalty.
Even though Marcus Rashford created the penalty.
Marcus Rashford absolutely toasted the Galatasaray defence. The guy's going to have therapy about how ruined he just got. Paul Pogba is what? Pogba
It's getting heated. That's my only issue with Jesse Lingard. I feel like he's quite heated to start a fight.
Yeah, Jesse's aggro, mate.
He is.
You
He's the opposite, but Marcus Rashford's so calm and cool. He just walks away.
Man United equals small club by someone. Can't even tell who they've got.
I
think it's an Arsenal fan.
Actually, I think you'll find we're worth £2.8 billion. Arsenal come second in the Premier League, 1.6.
Fellaini must stay at Manchester. Does Housen agree? No, Housen does not. And all the talk all summer is that he was going to Italy, so I fully expect him at some point to bugger off to Italy. Roma, I think.
Do you expect him to go to Sunderland?
Someone just put their phone number in there. Might want to delete that, mate.
That's definitely somebody else's phone number. That's definitely their mate's number.
Actually, looks like there's too many figures in that, to be honest. 69 minutes gone. Yes, I'm on 69, so whoever you are, you're synced up with us.
That's exciting.
Man United equals shit club with no history. You, sir, are off your head.
It's not a very nice thing to say, is
Rashford got
it?
the penalty, should have got the goal. Rooney's still shit. This low-down guy does not like Wayne Rooney.
I agree with him, though, on that. Wayne Rooney shouldn't have stole that pen.
Introduce the cutie, Steve. This is Andy Tate, everybody. Yeah, no. Okay. Should we have got rid of Memphis or nah? Nah.
He's got too much potential to get rid of.
How have we played compared to last season, says Hassan. Right now, let's actually think about how have we played football. Now, what we saw last season, we saw a team defensive structure, and we saw us slow build-up play, dominating a possession. I think the possession's probably been in United's favour this time, but I think we've probably edged it. It's not been 60 or 80% like we had under Van Gaal. It's about 55 to 45 in United's favour. What I've seen is encouraging is that we've moved the ball from midfield to attack, from defence to attack, with pace and with purpose. We've played a risky ball and we've lost possession, and obviously no one's exploded when that's happened. Amazingly,
Yeah.
but we've hit passes with purpose, and I think that's been the difference. Like Van Gaal, it was always a safe option, whereas we've tried risky stuff, and you know what? It's actually come off a couple of times. I'll keep talking about it because I think it was the pass of the game. Blind's pass into Zlatan for the first goal needs replaying. You need to see that pass. That was a phenomenal ball. And then I think it was Rooney setting Rashford free for when he got brought down for the penalty. That was a hell of a ball as well.
Yep.
And I think that's been a difference. Proper direct forward balls. Right, we're going to do... how long are we going to do it? In 2 minutes, we are going to go and check part 2 of our interview with Sir Nicky of Butt. And then we're going to talk to Mr. Andy Tate.
What a treat.
What an absolute treat.
What a treat.
And in the meantime, Fellaini's going to score again, I feel. Do you know what? Actually, no. I think Jesse Lingard or Rashford are going to score.
I think Rashford's looking primed. Well, he should have scored. He should have scored a penalty. But, that was a beautiful ball. And you just ran over it. You shouldn't. Oh. We messed that up a little bit then. But we still have possession. So, it's nothing too bad.
Did we win, says Michael Redpath. No, it's 20 minutes to go, mate-ish.
Let's not make any judgments now.
Opinion on Blind, says Matt Shield. Do I think he'll stay? Yeah, I do think he'll stay. I'm not sure if he'll play centre-half or if he'll be another option as a defensive midfielder, because I think, as you saw, I keep going on about it, I'm sorry, but whatever. His ball for the first goal shows the range of passing that he's gotten. So many times last season, he bypassed the midfield. Probably got bollocked for it under Van Gaal as well. Laid balls over the top. Phenomenal balls.
Oh, that's good.
Are we in here? That's probably offside.
Yeah. But no, I think that in my opinion, maybe that shows that Blind can get those balls through from being a centre-half.
Yeah, there's obviously less pressure on him as a centre-half. bit more in centre mid. All right, we're going to cut to Nicky Butt in the middle of the game for some reason, but enjoy that. And then we're going to have Mr. Andrew of Tate. So check this out.
To win trophies, he knows how to win Premier Leagues. He knows what he wants. He's very warm and he speaks to people nicely. He makes everyone feel welcome around him. But you ultimately know who the boss is, and I think that's a massive thing for any manager. Yeah, you can be nice, you can be pleasant, but everyone needs to know that you're the boss. And everyone needs to have a bit of fear about you, and whether in any walk of life, whatever job you're doing, if you don't got fear the manager a little bit, then or the boss a little bit, then it's not right. So first impressions with him is he's very calm, he's very astute, he knows exactly what he wants, he tells you exactly what he wants. He's warming, like I said, which helps at a club like ours. The most important thing for me is a winner, and that's what Man United's about, winning. Well, I'm probably like any other fan at any other club. You think your club's the best club in the world, and you think it's the biggest club in the world, and I'm the same at Man United. I think it's the biggest club in the world. I think it's the best club for people like myself who come through the ranks. They allow you to express yourself, they allow you to make mistakes, they allow you to do things wrong and learn, and I think that's an important part for any youngsters coming through anywhere, is you've got to be able to make mistakes and learn and learn quickly. If you do that at Man United, you get your chance and you get given a platform to play. I mean, you're playing from 75,000 every week, you're playing in the big games all the time. Hopefully we'll be back in Europe next year, and the big games come thick and fast then. And for me, it's like I say, it's the biggest club, it's the best place to be for them reasons, and you can become a very successful footballer at Man United through winning things and playing in front of people like that. You don't know, Ryan's is and was probably one of the best players the club's ever had, an icon, record breaker, all them words come to mind, but again, humble human being. He's a really good lad, he's one of my best mates, so I will say that, but he's a really good person to be around. What you have to say is, big players leave Man United. You'll think about it in the past, Eric Cantona, Brian Robson, Roy Keane, Mark Hughes, all these players are massive players for the club, and even players before that are older than them. No one's got a divine right to come back to the club, no one's got a divine right to be there forever. I hope it comes back in some capacity. Will it happen? I don't know. Depends how successful the club is. Or if Ryan wants to come back. So there's a lot of questions to ask about whether he'll be back or not, but like I say, no one's got a divine right to be at the club for life. I'm lucky that I'm still there now, but it could be me next year, it could be me next week, no one knows, and you just hope that you can stay there for as long as you can, but I'm sure Ryan's more than happy with the time he's had at United and all the things he's won there, so he'll be remembered forever as one of the greatest players the club's ever had. Say really,
yeah, we missed the goal. You knew that was going to happen, didn't you? I knew it was going to happen. She knew it was going to happen. Andy Tate's with me, and he knew that was going to happen. Juan Mata's just scored. It's 5-2 to Manchester United. What do you make of the game so far? We've had you sitting in the corner over there lurking. What do you think?
I've enjoyed it. First goal from Zlatan. Very energetic, and the performance has been. I've enjoyed it. First time I've enjoyed a game in quite a while, and it's we've got, you can't deny the goal from Galatasaray. The second goal, that was pretty decent half strike, but the second half it's been really enjoyable, and players are actually expressing themselves and enjoying it.
We've seen 7 goals today.
You know,
7 goals. 7 goals, Rachel.
I mean, I feel really spoiled right now because 5 of them were for us.
7 goals. I don't think I saw 7 goals in the first half of a game. I know this has been across the whole game, but with how it went at Old Trafford last year, the amount of nil-nils that we saw at half-time, that occasion, most of where I sit, there's like it's the same faces, and then you'd get the occasional new people. And at the start of the game, everyone would sit down one day and they'd be like, "Score, do you reckon it's going to be? Score, do you reckon it's going to be?" And I'd go, "Be 0-0 at half-time." And they go, "Be 0-0 at half-time. What are you laughing at?" And it'd be 0-0 at half-time. Invariably, and I never put a bet on all season for 0-0 at half time. Could have retired by now. Anyway, so Manchester United, we made 6 substitutions. Galatasaray are looking like we're running them ragged at the moment. Marcus Rashford again. Look, he's lollipopping it to death. What is he doing? Oh, Marcus Rashford is terrorising every defence he plays against, isn't it? Every defence that Marcus Rashford comes up against, he absolutely ruins. Let's go to some of the comments. Rachel, have you got any comments?
There is so much love for Mata, and I think that just shows like it's not only people within the club all the fans love Mata. Like he does whatever you need him to do. I think There's also a lot of love for Carrick. People thought he did really well.
Rashford again, is won a free kick? That's got to have been a free kick, ref.
Someone put low down, but Rashford only needs Mins to show he's truly world class. Someone just put Ibrahimovic. He's not actually on the pitch right now, but, still a lot of love.
Rashford looks like he's playing in the street at the moment. He's got that swagger about him where he looks like he's just having fun. That's refreshing to see, isn't it, mate?
It is refreshing. He's just like a kid on a Sunday with a ball.
He is a kid.
Like I say, he just wants to enjoy the game and he play football and just contribute to the team. And like you say, he scared that Galatasaray full back, didn't he? With that run for the penalty. Yeah, he's let him blossom.
People in the comments want to know what you think about Pogba, Andy.
I don't think he's worth the money, but the way the football market is here, but then again, no, the way the transfer market is now over the last few years with Bale and all that, Ronaldo, Messi, sometimes you just got to pay it. If you want class, you've got to get it.
Right, let's talk about these mega, the top 5 transfers that we've had and potentially Pogba. So you're looking at Cristiano Ronaldo. He'd won a Ballon d'Or, then he went to Madrid, world record fee. No one went, you've overpaid there. We was all like, wow, that's a hell of a lot of money, but guy just won the Ballon d'Or and scored 40-odd goals. Fair play. When Bale went, that's a bit much that for Bale. Bale hasn't been in the FIFA Pro Team of the Year. Bale has not won a Ballon d'Or. Bale he lit the Premier League up, but didn't score 40-odd goals. He scored like 20-odd goals, I think. So Bale, for me, was that first jump into the, okay, this could get crazy now. Then Suarez went for like 70-odd million after an absolutely unbelievable season for Liverpool, and everyone was like, all right. Higuain's just gone for 75 million after rassing it up in Italy, but he's got no resale value. Resale value is huge, I think. Like, Real Madrid have got a resale on Bale, I think, potentially. And with Paul Pogba, you're buying, for me, a player that has done more in the game at his age than Bale has done before he left Spurs. And Juventus are a top-tier club. Spurs are not a top-tier world club. So if you want to take a player out of a top-tier club, you've got to pay taking a player out of a top-tier club sort of money. And Juventus are definitely that. So the fact that it's 100 million is irrelevant to me. We pay 100 million every season in debt repayments, and we have not been improved once for that. So the fact that it's 100 million for Paul Pogba, he undoubtedly improves Manchester United. Our chances of winning the league, being successful on the pitch, but also the marketability of the club. There's a study out there at the moment that I had a couple of people mention in the comments after I said this on our Pogba debate, the huge debate, go check that out this week, where I said Pogba was the second most marketable player. I was wrong. He's the most marketable player. He's the second most marketable athlete. That's what he was second in, behind only Steph Curry, the basketball player. So Paul Pogba, ahead of Neymar, ahead of Messi, and ahead of Ronaldo in terms of the marketability of the player. And that there's a lot of factors in that. You need to go read the article for it. But if you just Google Pogba, most marketable athlete, it's the first or second result. And this is a company that does yearly marketable studies things. And Paul Pogba was the number one footballer on that. And that's what we've signed. We've signed a brand. We've signed a player that's going to be the face of the club, hopefully for the next decade. Doubt it, though. I'm sure he'll be the face of Real Madrid in 5 years. But we can but hope. I'm sure he's going to be here probably on the other end of the weekend, all being well.
Ben would really like to know what you think Marcus Rashford's role will be next year.
Me or Andy?
Well, it was to Andy. Go. There's a lot of love for Andy in the comments.
Thanks, guys. I think Marcus, he's cemented his first team place from the Arsenal game, and I think he'll blossom with Zlatan this season. Wayne Rooney, there's not a lot of love for him. I mean, I'm on the fence with him now. He had a poor Euros. He scored 2 today, but he's under immense pressure this season. And if he's not performing, as Jose got the Gazonas to drop him, I think he has.
Same, I think he has.
I spoke to a couple of people, and I'll keep them nameless, but I'm sure you can guess who. And I asked about Rashford this season. I said, like, game time, what do you think he's going to get? Is he going to get games? Do you think he needs to come back and learn? And it got heated. And the people I was talking to think that Marcus Rashford is going to get a hell of a lot of game time this year. And do you know what? On the evidence that we've seen for England this summer, the evidence that we're seeing today right in front of us, how can you drop him? I actually think that he's probably going to get a lot more game time than I expect. I personally think he's still got a lot to learn, and there's a lot of rough edges to his game that I would like to see him smooth out. But the rawness and that, he literally plays like he's in the street. Maybe that's what ruined Wayne Rooney, was when he took that rawness out of him. But Marcus Rashford plays with that raw aggression at the moment, and I think, do you know what, he's probably justifying his place in the first team squad. I think this is the perfect time to bring it on. You bring him on with 10-15 minutes to go when you've got a pretty worn-in defence, and the pure ball of hand grenade energy that Marcus Rashford is against the tight defence. It's like what we had with Chicharito, isn't it? I think he'll get goals in that sort of... I mean, is that him in again now?
That's offside.
Let's have a look in the comments. Let's
He
see
did
if anyone's
6
in there.
minutes for England, and he did brilliantly.
He was the best player in those 6 minutes, yeah. So let's have a look. Andy, do you want to take this in mic? I'll read some out to you, so you have to stick it all back over here if I read them out to me.
Sharing a mic.
Ask Andy about Manchester United, James Rodriguez. What do you think?
Commercially, I think it will be a good deal, but like I say, all we care about is what happens on the pitch and the glory for United. But he says he wants to stay and fight for his place. He's fell out with the hierarchy. Zidane, he was done for speeding, I believe. Well, he was done speeding through Madrid. He wants to fight for his place, but if it happens, it happens. I think if we get him on Pogba, we're the real deal. I really do.
Yeah, it would definitely be on us to win the league next season then.
I like James Rodriguez, and I said back in January I can see James Rodriguez, because of the whole Spanish social media thing, being a proper Woodward signing. But I think he's a talented footballer. I think people are looking at him going, he's not let it up at Madrid. Well, guess what? He's also got Gareth Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema, Cruz and all that lot, and they don't really play a system with an attacking midfielder, and neither do we, if we're being completely honest. I'm not sure how he would fit in a team, but I think as a footballer, he's absolutely mega talented. Now, the money you'd have to pay would be stupid, and I think if you did end up getting him in, plus Pogba in, you're going to have looking at a £200 million outlay in like one summer, which is absolutely nuts. But do you know what? I would rather it go into players that play football on the grass than into the banks and the interest payments that we've been paying to the Glazers. So I don't care how much they cost. I just want to see Manchester United back at the top where we belong. Let's have a look at some more comments. Why are our Mancunian accents so different? Says Michael Tomko. I don't know.
Mine's very southern. I went to university. I've just got back from university, and all my friends are southern.
These two actually live in the same sort of area of Manchester, really.
Very close.
Kinda in the same sort of area of Manchester. Andy's is more North Manchester, mine's more East Manchester, but even mine's softened. After 7 years in the army, living all over the country, my accent's softened loads.
Yeah.
But Andy's is like he's off Shameless.
Thanks for the compliment.
Something to be proud of.
Party. What do I think on the Payet rumour? I'll give it up to you, mate.
The Payet rumour, I think it's all paper talk. I mean, he helped France to get to the final in the Euros. He scored a fantastic free kick in the FA Cup last season. Yeah. But he scored a lot of goals in a lot of games. Like I say, West Ham got the Europa League to try and qualify for. But I think it's all pie in the sky.
Good deal.